From Castle Rexworth and the Rexworth Estates, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and whenever you are. My name is Rexworth, Lord Rexworth, and I welcome you to a surprise Wednesday night stream. We are going to be doing some video reacts. You're going to get a sneak peek into something that is actually becoming a bit of a tradition around Castle Rexworth, and especially the Castle Rexworth Discord. I'm actually in the Watch Party chat VC right now, and I'll be sharing my screen there along with here on stream. So you are welcome to those of you who are members of the... Oh my goodness! Raiders, welcome in! Hazy, hello, hello, it's good to see you. A hazy raid. Things about to get hazy up in here. Let's get a shout out for Hazy, our favorite axolotl VTuber. Having a jolly time playing Fable Anniversary. Oh, how was that? Dr. Hessel, good day to you. Doing all right, Hazy, doing all right. Just about to have ourselves a Just Chatting stream, and going to be doing a little bit of video reacts to some things that are were Japanophiles around Castle Rexworth, and I always reflect rather fondly on both of the trips I made over to Japan. And so we're going to be taking a look at some things from NHK World about Japanese culture. Specifically, I've got a few videos queued up here of a program that I've watched for many years. It's called Begin Japanology. It's on NHK World, and hosted by a fellow, a Brit. Actually, I believe he's half Japanese, half British, Peter Bedekan. Also, like me, a guy who has worked in radio for many years, so got a lot in common with Mr. Bedekan. Just absolutely fantastic chap, and he's hosted this amazing program on NHK World for they're actually now celebrating their 20th anniversary. And so we're going to take a look at some of the basics of Japanese culture, everything from the food to things like vending machines and other bits and bobs of Japanese culture, which are always fun to take a look at. Yeah, so we are in the Castle Rexworth Discord VC at the moment. So those of you who are not members of the Discord, there's the link right there. There's the invite. You're free to join if you like. It will be, however, just be advised that the Castle Rexworth Discord is 18 plus. We do mark this as an 18 plus stream, and it's also an 18 plus server. Not that we're doing anything unsafe per se, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's more of a liability and hustle avoidance sort of thing. We like to have grown-up conversations around here. Bit hard to do that when you've got the kids in the way. So, yes, 18 plus only. Exactly, Droid. Exactly. JR Games, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Yes. Raiders, if this is your first time here, I'm Lord Rexworth. I'm an English nobleman VTuber. I stream a variety of content. This is actually the first time in quite a while that I'm doing a Just Chatting and Video React stream. I tend to do things on just sort of items that interest me. I don't really go in for the usual things, the shoe on head reacts and whatnot, though I have thought about doing that. But definitely interested. I've done video react streams on things like watches and men's suits, and tonight is going to be a thing on Japanese culture, which I've done one of those streams before, talking about tea, and especially Japanese green tea and the tea ceremony. And so, yeah, this is going to be a more broader look into Japan and Japanese culture. On my way over soon, just down the street from the castle, yes. How goes it, my lord? It goes well, JR. How are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. And I'm actually going to swap out our music here. I had a 10-hour loop of Yuri Wong's I'm a Dude playing there. Which is actually a really good song, the way he remixed that. First heard it on I think it was a Serpent ZA stream, or yeah, it was Serpent ZA and Sea Milk in the videos they used to do when they were in China, where they'd hop on motorcycles and just ride across these rough roads throughout mainland China and have themselves a conversation about life over there. Absolutely fascinating videos. They don't really go in for those anymore, mainly because I think they relocated to Los Angeles or something like that. Best Brit, hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. But yes, thank you all so much for joining me on such short notice. I actually hadn't intended on doing a stream tonight. I was thinking originally I was just going to take a night off, but you know, here I am, and decided, you know what, we'll keep it nice and light, and also give Jen a hello there, Luna Wolf. Hello, hello. How are you? Pretty smooth. Just been securing more dimensions for both you and the lady. Multi-dimensional piece is almost there. Excellent, excellent. I know we can count on you, JR. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here tonight. Let's see. Let me make sure the browser audio's turned back up to a good level that we can all hear things. I think we'll set this at negative 15 decibels to start off with, and if that is too loud, we'll turn it down. If it's not loud enough, we'll turn it up. But yeah, I don't know how much all of you know about Japan or Japanese culture. We tend to go rather deep with some things. It's not unusual in the Castle Rexworth Discord for us to have some hangouts in VC and just put up something like a walking tour video. And most of my favorite ones happen to be in Tokyo and in other parts of Japan. There's a lot of great channels out there on YouTube that do that sort of long-form content, which is really starting to take off these days. And there's really these very relaxed, chill-type videos where some chap has got a digital camera mounted on a stable mount pole and just goes walking around, you know, streets of Tokyo or something like that, just to sort of give you the feeling of what it would be like to walk the streets there yourself. I suppose it would be even more immersive if you had a VR headset on watching that. But it's still a lovely experience and fantastic vibes. And, you know, we love having stuff like that up while we all just sort of have ourselves a chat in the Discord server. So, yeah. Deliver several sets of tea, drinks, and snacks. Delivery for the Lord of Rex. Thank you, Crasher. Thank you, thank you. If it's not loud enough, get better ears. Funny thing, my dad actually got a pair of hearing aids today, and he's telling him it takes about 3 weeks for him to get used to them. But I'm already telling it. I can already tell we're seeing some results. He's not turning the telly up as loud as he used to. So progress wherever we can get it. Anyway, I know plenty of Japanese culture. I watched Naruto and One Piece. Not gonna lie, I couldn't type that with a straight face. Fact, Rex. There are a lot of videos of people exploring Japan, and it looks so cool. Yes, it really does. There's several channels devoted to those walking tours, and not just around big cities like Tokyo or Osaka. There are people who will. There are channels that will go all up and down Japan, not only to do walking tours, but also to have first-person view of like riding Shinkansen bullet trains, or a first-person view account of what it's like to sail on a Japanese cruise ship. They got several that cruise up and down the coastlines all the time, and actually Japanese cruises. Having seen some of those, they really do look like very luxurious experiences, but also a bit budget-friendly too. Not as expensive, and definitely not the sort of highway robbery you've come to expect from a lot of the Carnival-owned cruises. Everything from Carnival to Royal Caribbean and everything else. Yeah, it's lots of different content to choose from in that regard. There's also great content creators like that actually show their face and you hear their voice and everything. Like Ridon Ishida is one of them. He always greets his audience with a "go," like a lion roaring. Very very kindly sort of chap and very friendly. Always happy to show people around Japan. There's Droid. Hello, hello. Let me resize you so that you don't.
Yeah, I'm a bit too big.
Yeah, there we go. That's better. My favorite Japanese walking tour, up and down the Shinkansen. Thought I'd stop by as I'm about to do a last-minute collab with Pink. Have an awesome stream, Rex. All right, and give my best to Pink, please. I'll keep a tab open for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think later on, as the program starts to wind down, we may do some short walking tours. There's actually some from JIB TV, Japan International Broadcasting, that are only about 5 to 10 minutes long compared to the sometimes 1 hour longer walking tour videos that you find on YouTube. So yeah, thank you, but thank you all so much. Right, let's see. Let me give the Discord one more time. And remember, that is open to everyone who's age 18 or older. There's the link there in the chat. Let's see, and then all of my other links are available at lordrexworth.com. That is lordrexworth.com.
Get down.
And also make sure that you're following me on Twitter, twitter.com/lordrexworth. And then if you happen to be feeling a bit generous, and if you like the what you're seeing here, and you want to spoil his lordship with something rather nice, there's the link to the throne page. Gifts not required, but always appreciated. And you know, if not that, then feel free to drop a sub, gift a sub, or even drop a few bitties. It's never required, but it's always appreciated, nevertheless. Right. With all of that said, let's move over to our video screen.
Silence!
Ah, I see you found the silence redeem. Oh, to your ad blocker.
Oh, hi, Besprit. I just want to say, Besprit, congratulations on making it this way.
Yes, Besprit, the newest member amongst our ranks, and doing an absolutely fantastic job. Hello there.
Hello there.
Rallying under the banner of the illustrious Lord Rexworth, we embark upon a grand quest to conquer the vast realms of the universe. With unwavering loyalty and boundless enthusiasm, we march forward, ready to weave tales of triumph and merriment for all who dare to join the noble cause. Onward to glory and endless entertainment. Thank you so much, Enrique. Welcome in. No idea what I... Yippee-ki-yay. No idea what I did, but I did the thing. Yes! You did the thing and you did it well. Big words scare me. There's the rest of the gang.
There's done.
Genevieve, my darling, welcome in, and welcome in, raiders. Hopefully this isn't your first time if you're raiding in with Jen, but if it does happen to be your first time, where have you been? No, just kidding. My name's Lord Rexworth. I'm an English nobleman VTube, and we're doing video reactions tonight on elements of Japanese culture. Putting a bit of class into all you Timmies who watch wrestling in the undershorts.
Crasher.
I regret nothing with the timing of my redeem. Ah, yes. And what fortuitous timing, Crasher. Yes. Jen, darling. Ada. Nice.
Nice.
Ah, and Jedi caught in the crossfire. Britt, welcome in.
Hello. What have I missed?
Nothing. We're just getting started. You've missed absolutely nothing.
All right.
You could probably even go away for 5 minutes and come back and still nothing would have happened.
Okay. Okay, fine. I need to make a sandwich anyway.
Yeah, there you go. There's my love. Hello, hello.
You really could not have waited, huh?
Well,
I
it was a
mean-
live redeem, so I had to.
Plus bonus
Damn it.
fights for a simple reason. It was funny.
Damn it and
Yes.
damn you, Crusher.
Breaking people in chat.
Wait, hang on.
Just want to enjoy some
Oh, I have
Beyblade,
to wait.
man. Ah,
Jeez, these MLB games really don't give me anything.
most
No biting
sports
my
games,
No
think they're just-
biting my ankles.
yeah, no biting ankles. Who's wanting to bite ankles? What?
Wait, Jen, are you actually small enough to be able to bite people's ankles?
I think that's
I'm 5'1" in real life.
Crusher was the one that's trying to buy ankles. Ankles, by the
Oh,
way.
no, take ankles.
Ah,
No stealing
my
ankles
apologies.
either. We need those to walk, thank you.
Yeah, please don't take my ankles either.
Yes.
I like
no,
my
no stealing
ankles.
of ankles. That sort of thing may fly with Carmen San Diego, but not this lot.
I like my ankles. Please don't touch them.
Enrique, thank you so much for the gift sub. Jen, you got your sub back, courtesy of Enrique B97.
Yes. You don't have to spend your money on
my.
me.
Oh, it's all right, love. Can I replace them with heighteners to make Jen taller? That would be up to Jen.
Oh no, Jen's supposed to be a
like
god. Can't you
being
just,
short.
Mm.
I like being short though because it means other people can reach up to the shelf for me and I can show them just how grateful I am for it. Am I right,
Yes.
Rex?
Yes, I was about to say, like me. Not Carmen San Diego.
Ah.
God, I remember that. I remember both of the TV shows, the game
No,
show and
no,
the television
Crusher.
show.
Crusher, I am short enough as is. There's no
Put away
need
the
to
shrink
make
ray, Crusher.
myself.
Put it away. They removed Disney XD from Spectrum. No. I mean, is that really a big loss, considering Disney XD kind of... I mean...
Is Disney XD still a thing?
Yeah, I was like, most people have moved over to Disney Plus now. It's like, who still watches cable television?
There's like only 2 people I can even note, and they barely grasp the concept of streaming.
The boomers, aren't they?
No, maybe.
Hmm.
They are 2 grandparents. Leave me alone.
Exactly, the grandparents, the boomers.
True. I tried introducing them to what live pause was, and they thought that they had stopped time. They are learning how to use a Sky Plus.
They're just all of a sudden like, have we stumbled into an episode of Doctor Who?
What is this bullshit? What is that sign? It's live pause. It's been a thing since 2008, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, laddie, we used to hang people for that sort of witchcraft back in my day.
Oh dear, no, unfortunately, the Scottish grandparents, they don't hang people, they just throw rocks very aggressively.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, the rocks. Yes. Yeah, get the stones, boys.
Right, you listen to me, wee laddie, here's what we did back in my day. If you did that, so it's somebody's game. If you did that during football, you would get absolutely stoned, and not in the good way.
Sports rubbish. Back in my day, we used to play a game called goose hockey. Everyone rode their favorite goose. My goose's name was Petey, which back in those days was pronounced Potty.
Right, you listen to me, wee laddie, back in my day. Oh, we didn't do none of them pussy sports like football. No. We did real man sports like cheese racing.
What the hell?
Why do I get this image of somebody taking a gigantic block of cheddar and just sliding it on some sort of slip and slide and just hopping aboard and just whee?
Nah, I'm just imagining, what's it called? What's it called when they roll like a wheel of cheese down the hill? And then you have like 1 billion people chasing it.
I think they just call it a cheese roll.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
the winner gets the cheese.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I found out that shit is actually really expensive.
What? Cheese?
No, an entire wheel of cheese.
Oh yeah. No, it's obscene, especially the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Hmm. I mean, there's the smaller ones.
Yes, however, I want to start a throne account purely to have a cheese fund.
You should. I'm sure people would go for that.
Oh,
you could even make it your mascot.
No, what? Just a massive cheese?
Yeah.
Give him a pair of eyes.
I mean,
oh my god.
You could even make it into a PNG tuber, your alternate form. Doki Bird's got her tomato, you've got a wheel of cheese.
Oh dear god, all we need is a bread boy and we have an entire pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo!
The collab of the century.
Oh dear god.
What have we brought? I mean, I make cheese as a job, though. Oh, okay. Well, Enrique, maybe you can hook up Besprit here with a big wheel of cheese. You know, give him the old employee discount.
Please, I'm desperate. Please.
He really wants his cheese.
Cheese.
Help Lamau. Gifting a sub to the great lady Genevieve Rexworth is but an honor, a humble tribute from a loyal servant like myself. Well, thank you, Enrique. It's most appreciated by us both.
Thank you.
Big words still scare me.
Oh, no. Enrique, he's harmless. He's harmless. Very friendly chap. And he apparently makes cheese, which I don't think I knew that. Why did I return to cheese? Oh, we're just talking about Enrique's day job. He makes cheese.
Enrique, is it too late for me to take back my comment about how your big words scared me and say that I love you now?
I'm sure he understands. I'm sure he understands.
Why do I return to cheese?
I mean, why not return to cheese?
Why wouldn't you?
That sounds like a horrible B-grade television movie. Return to cheese.
Breaking people's hopes and dreams. You a high school teacher?
We specialize in making old cheese. Oh, okay, so you had to get started a long time ago then. You're probably still working on stuff that your predecessor left behind.
On second thought, no, I don't want your cheese.
Well, the older the better. It gets what, sharper that way? More flavorful?
That's just an excuse to let it go moldy.
No, you just brush off the mold and you eat it, no problem. Cheese itself is mold.
Oh dear God. You're giving me an existential crisis here.
What? Wait, you didn't know that?
No. Not that smart.
So you never really looked into how cheese is made?
Of course not. What do you take me for?
Well, I figured you were a man of culture, a connoisseur of the finer things in life.
I'm a connoisseur of rum, which is just glorified alcoholic.
Well, hey, you said it, not me.
Okay,
true. To be honest, I didn't know that either. Yeah, from a scientific standpoint, most cheese is just it's mold. That is like the really just short TLDR of it all.
Anyway, I had better get to bed or I'm gonna get in big trouble.
Oh, all right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
In here really quick.
It's fine. It's fine. No, definitely. Off to bed. Off to bed.
Okay.
But yeah, pleasant dreams, darling. Thank you for the raid again, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mwah. Love you.
Mwah. Love you too.
Bye bye.
Why do I feel like a third wheeler?
And then there were two.
Oh dear. It's now a bad time for me to come up with an excuse.
No. She's off to bed now. So yeah, all good.
That's fair. Hey, no worries.
And Bride will
right.
be back later. Oh, did you know
Fair enough.
cheese is a narcotic? I can believe that. It's highly addictive. It's quite tasty.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Dear. I mean, it works with almost anything. I say almost with a lot of strength.
Yes. Right. Let's go ahead and start up these videos with things that fascinate us about Japanese culture. Starting with vending machines. It releases dopamine like opioids. Oh, okay. So instead of
Is that where the brain dolphin's coming from?
I guess so. If you eat enough cheese, yeah.
God. I'm off to
Oldest
Costco.
cheese
to
I
bulk
ate
up on
was
cheese.
15 years old 5 years ago. Goodness gracious, if he had hung onto it for a bit longer, it would have been 20-year-old cheese. Of course, then again, it probably would have gone bad.
If you'd held onto it for that long, it could have brought itself apart. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, spawned a new sentient life form and got a job, and it's like, I'd like to buy myself now.
I would like to purchase myself an alcohol.
They made 2 blocks, don't worry. Ah, yeah. Must have had a sharp taste and lots of salt.
Oh.
Is that what it takes to get to make it sharper? Is more salt? Love sharp tasting cheese. I do too. So tasty. Especially like a sharp cheddar.
Do you have to ask though? Do you have like a personal favorite type of biscuit or cracker to put with it?
Not really.
Fair enough.
The older the cheese, the more salt crystals you get. Ah, I see. So that's how it's done. Fascinating.
Hold on, it just forms crystals?
Either that or you have to
Yeah,
store it in a
God.
bunch of salt crystals to... Yeah. I use sharp cheddar cheese in my carbonara sauces. Ooh. Sounds tasty. Sounds tasty. And speaking of tasty, let's go ahead and play this video.
Wait a minute, it's now a bad time to announce that I can't see shit.
Japan is a nation of vending
Oh
machines.
dear. I mean, I can see it on
million of
the
them.
stream, but I'm going to be making comments
You
that are
find
like,
them everywhere, selling all
use text.
sorts of
Oh, there we
products.
go. Thank you
And
very
many
much.
vending machines do much more than simply that. This model, for example, evaluates a customer's sex and age in order to recommend specific drinks. There are ultra-energy efficient vending machines with life-saving equipment, vending machines that do all kinds of surprising
The
things.
Bathroom Pro had a bit of a career change.
Japan was the world leader in vending machines that could dispense hot drinks in cans. The inspiration behind their development might surprise you. Retro low-tech vending machines still exist, and they have ardent fans. On this edition of Begin Japanology, our theme is vending machines. We'll examine the
accent,
unique
probably.
history of how they developed in Japan, as well as their latest cutting-edge features.
So, have you heard that the older vending machines have
Hello,
their
welcome
own
to Begin
fans?
Japanology. I'm Peter Barratt.
Yes.
For better or worse, Japan is a country of vending machines. You will find them everywhere.
God,
In fact,
can
it's
actually be
hard to avoid
exclusively
them.
old vending
I remember when I
machine,
first
folks.
came to Tokyo
Oh,
about
these
38
new
years
vending
ago, being
machines are
amazed
too
at the
good
number of
back in
vending
the day of the
machines.
old
That's just a
vending
small fraction of what you'll
There's
see
actually
these days.
a
For
rest stop
example,
somewhere in Japan where
take
they've
a look
got
at
just
this.
rows and rows
And
of these
every
old
one of
vending
these
machines.
is selling canned
And
and bottled drinks.
I think
Perhaps an
recently
indication of how little
Chris
crime
Broad
there
and
is in Tokyo.
CWA
Although
both
increasingly
went
these
to,
days you'll find vending
check
machines
that
which,
out.
in addition to cash,
Yeah, I saw
cater
that
to
one.
prepaid cards as well. Now
I
these
saw,
drink
Jesus
machines
Christ,
are by
I feel
far the
breath.
most prominent. But
Yeah,
you'll also
I
find
mean,
machines which
even
sell
the cheese
a variety of
bit
perhaps slightly
iffy.
less predictable goods too. For example, a vending
about as old
machine
as the
selling
vending machine?
bananas. A nice healthy snack if you had to leave the house at the crack of dawn without time for breakfast. Or if you got caught in a sudden downpour, there are umbrella vending machines.
Okay, now that's practical.
There are even machines selling paperback books.
Huh?
So there are machines selling unusual things and machines selling things in unusual ways. Let's take a look at some of the latest innovations in the vending machine industry.
Well, hello, David.
This is a drip coffee vending machine. It grinds the beans fresh for each cup. The result is very tasty coffee. Of course, you have to wait a little while for the coffee to be ready, and that could be a problem. But take a look at this. To keep customers from becoming impatient as they wait for their coffee, there are miniature video cameras mounted inside the machine. They present a live feed of the coffee being made from start to finish, complete with upbeat music.
Time always seems to crawl when you're waiting, but watching this makes it fun. The time passes quicker.
A much nicer way.
This
than
next vending
saying,
machine
"Have
speaks
some
for
more
itself."
patience, you
Literally.
bastards.
I actually had somebody serve
Put
you
your
a
money
monster like
in,
that.
and the vending machine starts
How
talking.
did you know?
It can greet customers in English, standard Japanese, or even local dialects. The maker wanted to give some
Oh my
human
God.
warmth to the typically
It's a
impersonal
bad
vending
thing of
machine.
picturing like an English equivalent where you have a
Even if
local
it's not an
dialect. So you,
actual
you
person,
just get one in Liverpool where you get
It still
greeted in a
feels nice
Scouser
to
accent.
receive that greeting.
That would be amusing. A massive pain in my jaw, jeez, I hate
This revolutionary vending
Oh,
machine
dear.
debuted 2 years ago. It can make extremely precise
Well, how
recommendations
have you gone and done
tailored
that,
to
you silly
individual
sausage?
customers. When you step in front of the machine's large LCD screen, several of the products will be marked with red symbols.
Fucking hell, that's
These
better
are the
than my own
drinks that the
telly.
machine has recommended just for you.
Right?
Each customer gets different recommendations.
Just look
How
at...
does it work?
Oh my. Guys, typically there's very
The secret
few
is a
ways that you
miniature
can be
camera
doing
on the
that,
machine.
So we'll have to ask, just what have you been doing to do that?
It
Oh,
captures an
mighty
image of the
Spectre.
customer standing in front of the machine.
Wait, is that his name?
It compares the customer's face
That's
with a
all done.
pre-installed database of
Ah.
1 million male and female faces, and determines the customer's age and
Oh,
sex
look, it's facial
by
tracking like
analysing
with
certain key
VTubers.
features around the eyes and mouth.
Hang on, wait a minute.
I've
They're
had an
inadvertently
idea.
The
turning
machine
people
also
into
takes into account the
VTubers.
current temperature and
The
time of day
bastards.
to make the very best
What if somebody just
recommendations
uses
possible.
this vending machine for their VTuber
This woman
tracking?
chooses the hot
Bobbins of
coffee that the
change
machine
and then
recommends.
push a button and it's like, hey, we're live.
Oh shit, I've run out of
This is
battery.
what
Hang
it
on a second.
suggested I buy.
It's in 500 yen.
And in fact, I did
Hang
want
on.
It's
some
500
coffee.
yen to run it for an hour.
At my age,
Gotta purchase
I
another
never
bottle of
drink
Bacardi
anything
Sweat.
cold. I drink things
Oh,
warm
dear,
even
if
in
you couldn't tell the
summertime.
sponsors.
How did it know?
Sponsored by who? Let me figure that out.
The machine offers benefits
Dasani.
to its owners as well as its customers.
This machine made it possible for us to know, for the first time, exactly what type of people are buying what products and when they are buying those products.
All kinds of data collected by these machines are now being used to develop new products.
One interesting thing we saw in the data was that men in their 30s and 40s like sweet fruit drinks in the evening and at night. So we started stocking products to match those customers' tastes. The data has been very useful.
Chip tip too, goodness.
Today's vending machines go beyond simply selling products. They also make life easier for both sellers and buyers.
Okay, we're going to try out that machine you just saw that gives individual recommendations. For example, when this young woman stands in front of it, it's recommending her certain products which sell particularly well to her gender and age group. And, okay.
Yes, get the diet Red Bull,
No, I'm gonna
darling.
have
You
a
have to
try.
watch your
The
figure.
vending machine loves you.
Offers me.
Yeah, it's got
Come
more
on, then.
charisma than I do.
So this is what people my
You
age
watch
are
coming
drinking, is it?
soon.
Apple
Dating
juice
simulator
and black
involving
coffee.
a vending machine.
So people my age are drinking
Oh, no,
apple
I was
juice
gonna
and
go on
black
a very
coffee.
different
Well, I'm
branch.
just going
This
to go
is
for a
vending
regular
machine and
bottle
all
of
I
this.
mean,
water.
they've
You
already
see-
made
And
tank and helicopter
there's actually
dating
a reason
sims,
for that.
so
based
it's
on
just a
the
matter of
marketing
time at this
data
point.
that they get
Isn't
from
there
the
like a
sales of these
light
machines,
novel
the
about
company
a
that
vending
makes
machine
them
isekai or
discovered
something?
that a lot of people buy
Yes,
bottles of water
Reborn is a vending
their way
machine
to
and
work
now
in the
Wander
morning.
the Forest or
And
something
as a
like
result of that knowledge, they've
Yeah.
that. It's an
developed
anime
this
too. on Crunchyroll.
special cap, which
Also, I worry
doesn't
that with
pull off,
Myla,
it just
in
pulls
something
over
like
to the
this,
side
I'm
here,
gonna end up with
so
a
that you
scream
can
one day just going, "My wife left me!
have a swig of your
The
water
vending machine was too
and recap it
convincing!"
without having to worry about where the cap is, because you've probably got a briefcase in the other hand. I'm not sure. I don't think I could do this with one hand, though. Anyway, this is where we're
days
going.
later, they
One of these
burst
days, you'll
and
probably
then
able
this
to
hit
walk
me
up to
right
one
in
of
the
these
front
machines.
too.
I'll just have my
Oh,
usual,
God.
please. Anyway, this is the state of the art. Let's now go back and take a look at the dawn of the age of vending machines.
This is the oldest Japanese vending machine in existence. It sold stamps
Inspector,
and
please lay
postcards.
down and take something for
Made
the
in
pain.
1904, it's now a carefully preserved artifact. It's very simple to use. Put a coin in the slot, then pull on a tab. And a single stamp is dispensed. Let's take a look inside. The machine doesn't require any electricity. During Japan's samurai days, the art of making clockwork devices developed. Using the power of springs and gears, dolls were made that imitated complex human movements. The first Japanese vending machines borrowed techniques from traditional clockwork devices. This vending machine for caramel sweets was made in 1931. Even
That
at
is
that
not a
early
vending
stage,
machine,
vending
that is the
machines were
Japanese
being built with
TARDIS.
special
Stop lying
features
to me.
to amuse customers.
It does look like that, doesn't it?
When a coin is inserted,
I mean,
And then all of a sudden,
a
yes,
samurai action
watch a film
Doctor
as
Who.
you travel through time and space.
This type of movie was all the rage back
15th
then.
That's the 15th Doctor, right there. That's it.
Inside the vending machine are a projector and a phonograph. When the movie has run for 20 seconds, a box of caramels comes out. To continue watching the movie, children would buy 2 or 3 boxes. With this entertaining feature, the machine actually boosted sales.
That's one way of
Vending
doing
machines
cameras.
became a fixture of everyday life in Japan during the economic boom after the Second World War. It all
Reborn as a
began in
Japanese
1957
TARDIS.
with the launch of fountain-style juice vending machines. This unit is still in service today. And here it is in action. See how the juice is flowing up like a fountain? It's fun to watch. Machines like this became a huge hit with the public. In no time at all, 15,000 of them had been installed in places like department stores and cinemas. Children couldn't get enough of them. These were the pioneers that taught the Japanese public what a vending machine was. In 1970, the number of vending machines in Japan topped 1 million. Helping to drive the vending machine boom was the advent of convenient, sturdy cans for drinks and the spread of 100 yen coins. And right around that time, a revolutionary vending machine was invented. It came from a big soft drinks company that had just developed cans of hot coffee. Company founder Toshikage Tanida had the idea of
that is
selling
the
these
happiest
cans of
man I've
hot
ever
coffee
seen.
in vending machines.
That is,
When we looked into it,
smile is
we
beautiful.
found that no machine like it existed anywhere in the world.
Right, jolly old chap,
Not in
isn't he?
Japan, and not
Aye.
anywhere else. No one had made a vending machine for hot drinks.
Hot coffee was a winter drink. What Tanida wanted was a machine that could switch between selling cold drinks in the summer and hot ones in the winter. He asked a number of manufacturers if they could make such a machine, but they just laughed at him.
They said, we can't build a machine like that. Don't be stupid. And it probably won't sell anyway. Why take an order for a machine like that? They all rejected me.
Finally, he found a manufacturer who would do the job. The engineer in charge of the project, Ikuo Harashima, was initially baffled. The existing vending machines for cold beverages were basically large refrigerators. The idea of installing a heater in a refrigerator seemed absurd. As his trial and error attempts continued, Harashima suddenly found inspiration in an unexpected place: the heaters used on trains.
I was riding on a train in the dead of winter, and yet my feet felt very warm. It occurred to me that we could use something like that. It would be so effective.
Harashima ordered a miniaturized version of the train heater. He now had a reliable heat source. But there was another challenge: keeping the temperature of all the cans the same. Distributing the heat from the heater with fans would mean that warm air would only go in the direction the fans were spinning. Harashima decided to place 3 metal plates over the heater in order to redirect the airflow. He used Buddhist incense sticks to generate smoke that would allow him to observe exactly how the air was flowing. This clever idea helped him to identify the optimal angle for the metal plates.
The problem is now all your drinks smell of incense.
In 1972, this new kind of vending machine made its
You
debut.
just get your coffee all the time.
It could sell canned
what's that
drinks
smell?
cold in the summer and hot in the
Why does
winter.
my
It
hot
was a
coffee
world
smell
first.
smell like sandal?
Other manufacturers followed suit. And today, vending machines selling both hot and cold
Somebody
drinks
bought
are
this one from a
everywhere.
shop called Kenji. Why does this one smell of lavender?
Japanese people take it for granted these days that you can get both hot and cold drinks from the same machine. I, for one, had absolutely no idea of all the work that went into creating that system, though. This machine behind me is just in the process of being switched over from all cold
Wait, you can
to
buy
hot
that
and
guy
cold.
from the vending
Let's
machine?
Take a look. Hello.
Yes, and you can also buy Tommy Lee Jones.
Konnichiwa. This is Kenta Maekawa, and it's his
Welcome to
responsibility
Japan
to
now.
replenish and maintain machines like this.
Need to purchase
Now,
a Tommy
what
Lee
are you in the
Jones.
process of doing right now?
Until now, it was all cold.
Honestly, I think
But
that's how
now
you
I'm
make
switching some of
money
the
these
products from
days.
cold to hot. From today, this section
I
is
can't
hot.
blame
the face of
him.
boss
How do you do
coffee.
the actual switch over so that the customers know
I mean,
which are the
if
hot
it
drinks?
works.
You push this button inside the machine, and the corresponding section of the display changes from cold to hot.
Oh, okay, so we now have 4 different kinds of coffee, plus milk tea and green tea that are going to be hot drinks instead of cold drinks. Do you have clear-cut instructions about when you're supposed to switch over from cold drinks to hot drinks?
A general rule of thumb is when the temperature drops below 20, we start switching over to hot drinks.
And does that apply to all of the machines?
No, not to all of the machines. Elderly people, for instance, tend to enjoy hot drinks throughout the year.
Just do it whenever you
At
fancy,
old
like.
people's homes and wherever there's a lot of demand for hot drinks, the switchover may take place earlier, or the machine may be stocked with more tea than coffee, or basically, it's up to the judgment of the worker in charge of that particular machine.
Thank you very much. When these new machines come on the market, the older ones gradually get phased out. But the old-fashioned vending machines do also have a
buy a
unique
Japanese
charm of
vending
their
machine
own.
and have it in
Just
my
take a look at
house.
some.
That's it, blame you.
Beside
I
this
was
main
getting one of
road
those
stands
soda
an
fountains
assortment of
I've had in
vending
my house
machines.
for the longest time now.
At night, people from who knows where show up here. They have come for the udon noodle vending machine. That's right. There are vending machines that dispense hot meals. Sometimes they're called self-service coin restaurants. In the 1970s, vending machine spots like this sprang up all around Japan. In an era before convenience stores and chain restaurants, the ability to get a hot bowl of udon or a hamburger late at night was something special. However, with the rise of 24-hour retailing, these vending machine spots have been on a long, steady decline. But one man remains fascinated by the retro appeal of these old vending machines. His name is Yusuke Uotani, and he's 39. 7 years ago, he began seeking out retro vending machines around Japan, with camera in hand to document them. His original reason for doing this was these machines evoked nostalgia.
The only thing I'm thinking is
On a family trip when he was at primary school, he had an unforgettable encounter with a vending machine that sold hamburgers.
To me as a boy, the idea that a hamburger could come out of a vending machine was astonishing. It came out of the machine so piping hot, you couldn't even hold it. It made a big impression on me when I recall the family trips I took as a child. I think of that hamburger.
I don't know that.
Uotani posts the videos he takes on the internet. Nostalgia. On a family trip when he was at primary school,
the only
he had an
thing that you can
unforgettable
especially
encounter with
remember
a vending machine that sold hamburgers.
Like the main memory of your family trips is
To me
that
as a
hamburger.
boy, the idea that a hamburger could come out of a vending machine was astonishing.
Not, you know.
It came out of the
Tiny little box.
machine so piping hot.
A tiny little burger.
Right. Hold, Rex.
Yeah.
Rex. This is the main thing that comes to mind when he thought of memory is of trips with his family.
We don't know how good we have it in the West with hamburgers. This is we look at this and it's just like, mate, come on. You have no idea.
I believe that there's a word in the UK for something like that. An abomination.
Yeah.
God.
Is
that I want to know what that white sauce is. Why? Because if that's mayonnaise,
I think it's supposed to be.
Why the fuck have you got mayonnaise with beef?
I don't know. I don't know why anybody would put mayo on a hamburger.
More importantly, what is
Honestly.
that? What is that green stuff at the bottom? Or am I going colorblind?
No, it's green. I just wish I knew what it was. I could swear it's like a wasabi sauce or something like that. That's not mayo. Most likely coleslaw. Oh dear. Wait, coleslaw with ketchup? That is an abomination. Those two things don't go together.
That is not an abomination. That is that is the eighth circle of hell.
Oh
no.
Dear. No, this is not right. That's not how you prepare a burger.
Japan, stop.
Yeah, no, please. Please don't do this. Don't do this. This is not good. This is not okay.
Also, if in your childhood the main memories you have of vacation with your family is this, you might need to go to therapy, my friend. Because
that's a mediocre holiday, isn't it?
That is not only a mediocre holiday. That says a lot about the family.
Right.
God.
It's like the rest of the trip was absolute trauma, but oh my god, this vending machine burger was so good.
2 out of 10 burger. Gourmet. Gordon Ramsay. Nah, who the fuck is that? We only do vending machines here in this family.
Oh my. That is coleslaw. Oh dear. No. Just no. Not on
fire.
Yeah, no, that's no.
Well, then again, if you do that, you might actually finish cooking the patty. That shit still looks raw.
Yeah.
It's not raw. Wait, hold on.
Did they try and steam cook it? It looks like they steam cooked it.
It's either steam cooked or, worst case scenario, it's boiled.
Oh. No. Don't do that to beef. That's an affront to the beef. You owe the beef an apology.
think you no, take that back. You owe the cow an apology.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go find a cow and apologize.
No, you're gonna have to commit full frontal necromancy just to apologize to that cow. Either that or get a
Cow's
medium.
like, so sorry. We really could have done better and we didn't.
This is the reason why there's like haunting and shit like that in Japan. It's
Yes.
this angry cows.
Yes, angry cows, and late at night you can hear them.
Exactly. You don't have paranormal activity. You just have a really pissed off cow.
Yes, pissed off cow with the hot slaw.
Dear God.
Ugh.
You couldn't even hold it.
Pissed off
It
cow.
made a
hot
big
slaw,
impression
and
on
whatever
me
that green
when I
gunk
recall the
is.
family
I'm
trips
just going to
I
assume that
took
the chef
as a
sneezed
child.
into it to make it a little
I
bit
think
better.
of that hamburger.
Uotani posts the videos he
Savvy
takes on the
sauce, I
internet.
don't know.
He even has his own website.
That would make the
He has
most
made
sense with the hot
150
slaw.
vending machine documentaries so far. Before machines were computerized, the complex process of
Burger.
preparing a hot meal was done mechanically. A big
Nothing
part of the
good
appeal
about
of these
it.
vending machines is how low-tech they are.
I feel like his bandana though. He seems very
There are
happy.
people who see one of these machines
Maybe
and
we're
say
just
they've
misjudging it
got
and
to
these
buy
people are just
something
very
from it
happy, so
before
as
the
a result,
machine
it's just
disappears.
God
In
tier,
our
we don't
super
know.
high-tech age, eating food from
Well, at this point,
decades-old
drag him to
machines
America
like
and actually
these
get this man a
is
good burger.
a total
Fucking hell.
anachronism. But that's why I like
Exactly,
them.
Spectre.
Here is footage that Uotani shot in Shimane. A machine dispenses a steaming bowl of udon noodles.
Okay, that's not terrible looking.
How does it
That
work?
looks good, but have you ever had udon?
Uotani got permission from the owner
Oh,
to film the
it's not bad.
inside of the vending machine.
Fair enough. I'm not a fan myself.
What's a texture thing, or you just prefer like random noodles?
The machine
prefer
is
ramen
full of
since it
bowls already
absorbs the flavour a
containing the
lot
noodles
better
and
than
other
the
ingredients.
thickness of udon.
The rack rotates,
Fair point.
That makes
and
sense.
hot water is sprayed into the bowl.
Okay, that does just make sense. That does not.
As soon as the noodles are heated up,
They
the
just
hot
come out
water
with
is
a really
flung
wet
away.
bowl.
Then, broth is poured in. There's an appeal here that current machines just don't have. Vending machines of this older era are mechanical, but they also possess a human warmth.
The ingredients are all handmade by the operator, so each machine's food tastes different. All the ingredients are different too. They may be machines, but they really get that human touch across. That's what I love about them.
Do they?
Almost every day, Uotani receives comments
I'm
online
not sure
about
that
his
look like
videos.
an AI-generated burger.
I had no idea places like this existed in Japan. I wish I could ship a couple of those vending machines over to Italy.
No, you
They're the
don't.
Mamma Mia.
Retro
No, you
Japanese
don't.
vending machines are amazing people around the world.
Then again, I say that. There was one point when I went on a trip to Portsmouth, they had a fully fledged pizza vending machine.
Sounds
And
interesting.
it was.
I'm in
it was
Komai
odd.
Station,
Like,
which is
I
pretty much
used
at
it.
the
It was
southern
£5,
edge of
by the
Tokyo on a
way.
commuter
You
line.
got a fully
And they've
fledged
got a
like
vending
18
machine
pizza.
here, which has a rather unusual feature. This is
The
it.
only thing I can-
This
the
has a
only thing I can
built-in
complain about is
AED,
that
which,
the-
if you're
I'm
unfamiliar
guessing
with,
it
it
was in there
stands
for
for
maybe a
Automated
day. Warm.
External
Still warm, but, like,
Defibrillator. And that's a
fairly
machine
stale
which can
bread.
administer a light
Yeah.
electric
No,
shock to
whatever it
someone
is.
whose heart has stopped.
Other than that,
These
God
machines have been
thanks.
placed in all kinds of public spaces recently,
Like, it's £5
including,
for
as you
good
see,
snack.
some
Right,
vending
exactly.
machines. Now, I'm going to be talking to Mr. Katsuhisa Suzaki, who works here at the station. How long have you been doing this, putting these AEDs in vending machines on this line?
We've been doing it since March of last year. Anyone can use an AED, so we wanted to put them where it is easy for people to notice.
I'm assuming you don't have to put a coin in the machine to open this thing up.
You can take it out anytime.
Oh, comes with an alarm as well.
When you open up an AED kit, it'll play audio guidance, so you'll know what to do. There have been instances where commuters on our line were resuscitated using an AED, albeit not a vending machine AED.
Thank you very much. Well, in addition to these AEDs, let's take a look at some other vending machines that have kind of social functions to them.
Since the Great East Japan earthquake, the Japanese have become increasingly energy conscious. That concern spurred the development of a vending machine that uses almost no electric power during the day. One secret is a special cooling substance used inside, and also highly efficient vacuum insulation that is unique to this machine. It uses electricity at night to cool itself down, and can then keep products cool for about 16 hours during the day.
Daytime is when peak electricity usage occurs. The most helpful thing you can do to conserve energy is not to use electricity during those hours.
This summer, test units were deployed. They cut daytime
I had
electricity
no idea.
consumption by 95% compared to conventional vending machines. They will be introduced in earnest starting next year. Now, how about this vending machine? It has a
Whoa, it's
solar
not in a
panel
doorway.
on top to generate its own electricity. About 3 hours of sunlight is enough to provide all its lighting needs for a night.
You know for a fact that would get nicked in like 5 minutes in London.
Yeah, probably.
The machine also
My,
has a
the
customer
local chippy
detection
getting
feature.
free freshly cooked
It only
pizzas
lights
for
up when
£5.
someone approaches. This
Jealous.
is a good way to conserve energy.
Yeah.
The usual fluorescent lighting has been replaced by LEDs. This vending machine goes all out to save energy.
And that's something spectacular in most vending machines do.
The city of
So I think
Omada
it's
in
released
Fukuoka
back
is
in
using vending
2015,
machines to help with
2016.
disaster preparedness. These special
And
vending
again,
machines
the-
swing into action in the event of a disaster.
There is one vending machine. There's like one vending machine in the university I go to, and the best thing you can notice.
When the water supply in the city is interrupted and you
Correctly,
can't
there's
get
like a
water at
proper
home,
app that you can
the
connect
machines
into
will
it.
dispense
So
free
in case you
drinking
don't,
water.
in case you don't have Apple Pay or
If
Android
a
Pay
disaster
or
cuts
Google
off the
Pay,
city's
or
water
whatever
supply,
Huawei
the
have,
city employee can change
you
the
can use
settings
something
on the
else.
vending machines over the internet. They will then dispense drinks free of
which is
charge.
pretty decent.
Oh, that's cool. In the event of natural disaster,
The machines can also
They-
operate during power
all the
outages.
drinks become free.
You can manually switch them over to internal
I
batteries.
hope there's an earthquake.
And there's more. The displays
yourself
can
a
show
free
text
coffee.
that has been entered by city officials, such as the location of an
I wanna
evacuation
I
center.
want to see the real vending machine enthusiasts
The
rushing
city of
out in the event
Omota
of like
has placed these vending
a
machines
Richter
at primary
4
schools
earthquake.
and other
Just,
evacuation
oh, I didn't get a
locations.
free. Give me the water.
Give me the boss
Now let's
black
take a look at a
coffee.
machine at a university
Boss
in
black
Miyagi.
coffee.
It gets to a point where in
When you buy a drink
2035,
from
that's
it,
the
you
real
have the
race.
option to
Needs
donate
to
your
happen
charity.
in an earthquake that's too low.
Push a button and money will go to
There's
a
a
charity.
higher rumbling that comes from the
About
rush,
800
the
of
stamping
these
of
machines have
Japanese
been set
people's
up
feet.
around Japan. The three machines on this campus have raised 130,000 yen over the
Vending
past
machine
year.
appeal.
When people are soliciting donations on the street, potential donors may feel hesitant. But making a contribution when you buy a drink is easy. I think it's a good idea.
Contribution.
Those machines we saw, which are designed to
Oh, yeah.
dispense their
Charity
drinks free of
donation.
charge in the case of
Oh, that
disaster,
makes more
have
sense.
actually been put to use, especially in the case of the Great East Japan earthquake last year. And with disaster awareness on the rise now, a lot more of these machines are going to be installed in the near future.
Sakes, the thing is,
Personally, I've always wondered if Japan really needed quite so many vending machines. So it's kind of comforting to see some of them with the solar panels on top, and also to know that there are companies who are willing to sacrifice a little bit of their profit in the case of disaster. I'll certainly drink to that. I'll see you again next time.
These are
Japan has put its
things.
own unique twist on all kinds of Western-style sweets.
There
And these
was-
confections are
there was
recognized
one
as some of the
McDonald's I
world's
went to
best.
where after
We
all
take a
of
bite of
the,
this fascinating
ordering
part of
process,
Japanese food
they'd
culture.
also include, would you like to put a tip in on the smart machines when you've already done the order yourself?
Yeah, that doesn't that makes no sense.
Yeah, and I think the worst one I've seen, there's one friend of mine who lives over in Newcastle where he had something similar where you could give a tip to a
Wherever you
Tesco's.
go in Japan, you will never be far from a
Bear in mind, this was one of the ones that was almost exclusively self-doing checkout. So you're grabbing the shopping yourself, you're putting it through the checkout machine yourself, and you're buying it yourself, and they still have the audacity to ask for a
365
tip.
days a year.
Wow.
A Japanese businessman led the effort of bringing convenience stores to Japan from the USA about 40 years ago.
Tesco's.
And they have since acquired a clear Japanese identity in response to consumer needs. Most convenience stores in Japan are operated as franchises,
Same in my
and they
area
are subject to
though.
strict guidance from headquarters.
Let's see. Now we're learning all
Stores
about
don't simply carry products bought from manufacturers.
Chicky.
Oh,
Each company
yes.
invests heavily in private
Pudding
label
and
products
noodles,
that
all
can
the things you
succeed
find
in
in a
fiercely
Japanese
competitive
konbini.
market. Recently, some stores are offering services for mothers with small children,
A small child, all the things you
while
can
others
find
are
in a
trying to
Japanese
attract
convenience.
senior citizens. On this edition
The
of Begin
difference is you can't buy that
Japanology,
one
the theme
for
is convenience store.
120 yen.
With 50,000 of them nationwide and sales of 9 trillion yen, we will look at the Japanese take on this retail format, as well as its continuing evolution.
What has changed?
Hello and welcome to Begin Japanology. I'm Peter Barakan.
Yeah, I can't really boast about
Right
that.
behind
It's
me here, you'll
£1
see
today, and
Japan's
most of the stuff
first
I
ever
got was
convenience store, which
125,
opened in
150.
1974. As chance would have it, the very year that I arrived in Tokyo. Back then, it was
Suga,
still
welcome
the era
in.
of the corner shop, but now it's completely different. In fact, you'll see a convenience store on almost every street corner. And when we're out
Doing all
shooting
right.
this show,
By the way, we are
practically every
streaming.
week we'll stop off at a convenience store to get some drinks or snacks or something.
Won't stop me
Let's
from saying
start
the
off
F
today
word.
with an overview of convenience stores in Japan.
I was unaware of this when I joined in here.
There are
No,
more
it's
than
fine, it's fine.
50,000 convenience stores in Japan, and they are said to generate annual sales far exceeding department stores.
Might
These
have been
convenience
a
stores
good
belong
idea.
to major chains that are
That
operated
has
by
been
large
fun.
corporations.
I can't
Currently, there are
confirm or
more than
deny
30
whether or not he's
chains in
streaming.
Japan.
For all I know, it could be his excuse to
They say
us
that in
bully him,
Japan you
let's-
can find a convenience store just about anywhere. Let's test how true that is with a stroll through a busy city district.
800 launches in like 2 hours. My God. Spectre,
That would be
yes,
a very
please,
big person.
please sleep, please. Get
In
some
just
rest.
1.5
All
kilometers,
of them
we'll
being
see
crux
9
bruised.
convenience stores. That's about
That
one
sounds
every
painful.
150 meters.
Huh?
You'll find a
Yeah,
similar
well,
concentration in the center of every Japanese city. Why are convenience stores so popular with consumers?
If I forget to buy bread or something, or need a few vegetables, I can just pop in and get them. They offer small portions, which is great for a small family. They have a big selection of desserts, so I come here when I fancy
That's one
something
every
sweet.
9 seconds for 2 hours.
Let's see some typical convenience store features.
Requiem as well, as heavy as fuck as they
First,
all
most
metal.
convenience stores are open 24 hours a day,
Yeah,
365 days a year.
I think
They
you got
have a
your work
small
out, Tim,
retail
for
floor
today,
space, but stock
Spectre.
a wide
You're
variety
good.
of
Get some
products.
rest.
Your forearms must be fucking
A
massive.
single shop may have a stunning 3,000 different items or more. Whenever you're in need of a few daily necessities, you can go to a convenience store, and more often than not, you'll find them.
Oh, I love these daily necessities.
Food makes up
Not those
60%
ones.
of convenience store merchandise.
Alcohol!
The selection is impressive, covering vegetables, frozen food, desserts, and more.
Oh yes, they even have alcohol.
Ready-to-eat foods like rice balls
Lots of
are
great
extremely
selections of
important.
alcohol.
And a lot of
Oh,
work
we
goes
do
into
love alcohol.
Chains
They'll even sell you bottles of whiskey.
private label foods to offer something different from the
That's all I need to hear. I'm there right now.
7-Eleven even has their own
lunches,
brand
for
of whiskey
example,
made with
change
Suntory.
seasonally and come in many sizes and types. Japanese, Italian,
Really?
and more.
Yeah, and it's good
So-
stuff too. I've had it before.
The selection of
search that up.
salads,
This feels the
side
same
Oh,
as
it's
being-
when are we
is
going
also
to Japan?
expensive.
Tuesday.
Soon.
Pots of yogurt
Tuesday.
and cream caramel alone.
Yeah, I need to be
several
there.
shelves.
Hearing you telling me that feels the same as hearing that
Convenience
Spa
stores sell an
gas
exhaustive range of
stations or Spa
beverages,
petrol
from
stations have
soft
their own
drinks
meal
to
deal.
alcohol, including beer, wine, and sake.
They
I would
do, and
try
I hate
that.
it.
I
They
would
do,
try
it's
that.
terrible.
Not gonna lie, I would try that.
And drinks are available
Don't
at various
trust me.
temperatures. Some are hot,
Not bad, eh?
some at room temperature,
Yeah.
and some chilled to 6 degrees Celsius.
I'll try
You
it
can even
once.
have a green tea frozen at minus 24
Please don't.
degrees Celsius. Convenience stores provide more than
They
just
did
goods,
boxing
though.
training for 2 hours. And then
The machines located in the stores offer various services.
So
Here's
sore
a
tomorrow,
cash machine.
Inspector.
You can make cash deposits and
Yeah,
withdrawals
whatever
just like
workout
any
you're
ATM
on,
in a
I
bank.
want on that shit. That shit sounds fun.
And here's a multi-function
Beyblade,
document
rework,
processing machine.
Boxing, parkour.
Along with color
Yeah, I
copying, it can
I think
send
I've
and
seen
receive
that, yeah.
faxes.
All right,
You
that
can
sounds
also bring
fun.
data from your digital
What
camera.
fucking pre-workout do you take? Meth?
This machine allows you to buy tickets for movies, concerts, and other events.
Oh yeah, the ones in Tokyo. You
even
go to
buy
a
large
Lawson's, you
appliances,
can buy tickets to the
TVs,
Ghibli
and
Museum.
refrigerators. Simply select one from the
What
screen.
fucking vending machine is this? There's a TV.
You can also pay utility charges
Dang.
and taxes by handing the shop
Buy
assistant the
appliances
bills.
and electronics from a convenience store, and you can pay your utility bills.
With such a huge range of goods and services available
I'd love to get a
24 hours a
Nintendo
day
Switch from the
in a
Sainsbury's
single
local.
place, these stores really do offer convenience.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Ooh,
Ah.
hot. Well, as you can see, I'm in a convenience store now, and as you just seen in the video, you not only buy things in here, they have all kinds of services as well. I just bought this boxed lunch, and they've microwaved it for me. Now, this is still pretty hot,
Bad.
so while I'm waiting for it to cool down a little bit, they also have a pot here where I can put some hot water in my pot noodles here. Now, hang on. It's
It's not
piping
just a
hot.
British thing to call it pot
There we
noodles.
go.
Legally, he can't call it cup noodles, because then he'd be
Close
fired
that up.
from NHK.
And
Wait, really?
let it cook
Yeah,
for a bit.
they
And
can't mention
over in the
any
back there,
specific
you'll see there's
brands
an
or anything unless it's
extensive
for a news
bread
article.
counter as well. The
Ah,
parent
fuck.
company of this particular convenience
That's
store
weird as
is a
hell.
bakery, and they bake their own bread
It's-
right in the
It's a
back
public
there as
television
well.
sort of thing.
Now, there are numerous chains of convenience stores, and each one offers different services.
we've seen
For example,
showing
some
sort of
have a dry
partiality.
cleaning
Oh,
service.
this is our favourite brand.
Others,
Wait a minute,
you
you're
can send
NHK, you're
packages,
like a
not only
BBC,
send
you
them,
can't
but
do
you can
that.
receive packages as well, which means if you don't spend a lot of time at home, you can arrange to have your package delivered to the convenience store, pick it up early in the morning, late at night, whatever. There are some convenience stores where you can even have them print out official documents where normally you'd have to go to the town hall to pick it up. These services are all, of course, part of a business strategy. Let's take a look now at how convenience stores go about attracting customers.
Japan's convenience store chains are locked in a ferocious battle for survival.
And they're all losing now because of the shrinking population.
And that's why these days they are making more use of
There's a joke
detailed
from me
data
here, but
on
I'm not going to
customers.
make it because I'm not that dirty.
Knowledge of what types of customers buy what products
I'm
can
glad
guide new
I'm not
product
the only
development
one.
and marketing strategies.
I also don't have a pre-workout. I
This
just have a
convenience
caramel
store
latte
chain
when I
develops
wake
as many
up.
as
wake my mother up,
100
then
new
off I go.
products every week.
Right, there you
Customer
have it.
data plays a crucial role in that
pre-workout.
endeavor.
Yeah, no. See, I think you are built
Most convenience
so much
stores
different
use
that it's built wrong.
POS or point of sale system for
What if
information
ODT
management.
What if this guy is
The
just him?
salesperson enters the sex and age group of each customer at checkout as one of its features.
What if he is
The
just the
data
main
is then
character?
compiled to work out product sales
At
trends.
this rate, I think he
Like-
is.
Like, you know that Like, you know that one day where you just
An
feel like
even more
nothing's
potent
happened?
source of
That's
data
because he's off,
is the
like, fighting
customer
the
loyalty
fucking
card
Dark Lord of
issued
Earth.
by convenience store
Meanwhile,
chains.
we're just here on fucking
A
filler
loyalty card
episodes.
carries personal information about its user. From the shopper's perspective, the card is
possible.
useful
It's
because the
possible that
more you
Spectre
buy,
is the
the more
main
points you
character,
get.
yeah.
And these points can be used like money at the shops. The cards enable
I'm
each
heading
retailer
out
to
now.
gather
It
detailed
was good
information
catching up
on
with
the
you guys.
buying habits
Sorry
of
about
countless
crashing the
customers.
stream.
No, it's fine. It's open for anyone who's in the Discord, and so
The stores
feel free to pop in
analyze
and
what
out
customers
as you
bought
like.
and at what time,
I
as well
will
as
keep
various
that in
local
mind,
factors,
but
including weather.
it's
The
been
data
good.
supports future
No, don't
product
leave me with him.
I'm sorry, but I have to.
One chain was able to attract more women with products developed based on accumulated
popping in,
transaction
Sergey.
data.
He seems nice.
Yeah. My security chief.
Analyzing the data for female shoppers, it was clear that when choosing
There is
food,
no security now.
a
You're
lot
stuck
of
with me.
women were more interested in health benefits
I'm in
than
danger.
portion
No
size.
kidding.
So the retailer developed low-calorie bread containing less sugar than ordinary bread. This worked very well.
God, how much sugar
Women
do
were
they put in
drawn
the
to the
bread over
product,
there?
which
I don't think
earned
I
the
wanna
chain's
know. Never
highest
mind.
rate of repeat purchases.
All of it's Wonder Bread.
A selection of box lunches was another hit made possible by data analysis. In this case, the keywords soup, spicy, colourful, low-calorie were extracted from the data to guide the development. The result is these unique meals with 500 calories or less per serving.
Smash. Next question.
It does look tasty.
Customer data is used not only for creating new products, but also for marketing. 1 million of these lasagna-style pasta dishes were sold within 20 days of the product's launch.
Pasta jump scare. Ah.
That was a
Analysing the
whole
buying
jump
histories
scare.
of 510,000 loyalty card holders, it was found that the ratio of customers buying this pasta twice in one day was slightly higher than for other products.
Looking at these stocks and sales, we found it was selling out at many shops.
My launches give out so much
Spotting signs of
power.
a hit product,
If I launch
the
it too
person in
hard, it
charge
breaks
directed
my
shops to
launches.
increase stocks so
Oh
that
dear
they
God.
wouldn't run
Yeah,
out.
Spectre's broken a few of his launches before.
Buying the same pasta twice
He
in a
needs
day
a
is
he needs a
unusual,
launcher that can
but
contain
that's what
his
the
full
figures
power.
told us.
Yeah.
So we quickly analysed those findings and put the results into action. That's what you have to do in this business.
Like the plastic
Given a
ones,
need
Spectre.
to
How many of
gather
those have
and
you
act on
shattered?
information as effectively as possible, digital data has become an essential tool for convenience stores.
12. You have.
Behind me and
A
across the
problem.
road, you'll see a convenience store. And then if we move around here, behind me
That is
here
no
on the opposite corner
longer
of the same
that is no
crossing,
longer
you'll
whatever
see
the
another
opposite of a skill
convenience
issue
store,
is. That is
the
a
same
problem.
chain.
That's
This is
OP.
actually
That's
quite common in
IRL OP.
Japan. It's known as the dominant strategy. And when you do this, it makes it more difficult for rivals to move in onto your turf. It also makes the delivery system more efficient. Now, if we move over here again,
Monster units do we have
over
in
on
chat?
this corner, you'll see another convenience store from a rival chain. And again, this is a fairly common occurrence. Each of the chains have their own areas that they specialize in or their strengths. And according to your preferences, you might want to have your main course in one store and your dessert in the other one, or vice versa. Let's take a look now at how convenience stores came to Japan in the first place.
As Japan entered the 1970s, rapid economic growth was
You broke it,
ushering in
didn't
a
you?
society of mass production and mass consumption.
Did it become too independent?
Big
and gain intelligence
supermarkets were
and then get
springing
a
up in
its own
Japanese
job?
cities and towns, selling cheap products in large volumes.
Caught it working in the
Secret
Hamilton
mystery
100.
That is when a group of employees of a mid-scale supermarket company headed to the USA looking for new business opportunities. The year was 1971. The group was led by Toshifumi Suzuki. He was looking for fresh business ideas in America, a leading country in retail business. One day, he got off an intercity bus and found himself in front of a small retail shop. It was called a convenience store. Inside, Suzuki found that in spite of its size, it sold a surprisingly wide selection of products. And it had long opening hours, from 7 a.m.
You know, that's
to
the
11
one thing about
p.m.
7-Elevens in Japan.
Every
I
item was
never
full
once
price.
saw a
There were no
Slurpee
discounts.
machine.
Suzuki learned that the US had as many as 4,000 shops in this retail format. There must be a secret to this success. Suzuki immediately went to Dallas in Texas to visit the retailer's headquarters.
What the fuck is it?
They told Suzuki that their growth was made possible
it's
by
like
a
an
100-volume operating manual.
A slushy machine of sorts.
Suzuki decided
one of those,
to bet
gotcha.
everything on that manual.
Think of a snow
proposed a
cone,
contract.
only the little ice crystals have been like pounded
The
and
company set
pulverized
tough
almost
conditions.
into dust and then
An
compacted
extremely
together
high
with
licensing fee,
flavoring
and the
syrup.
opening of 1,200 stores in Japan within 8 years. But Suzuki was convinced the convenience store format would be a hit in Japan, and he agreed.
As soon as I launched the Beyblade, it broke so badly
As
it
soon as he
bent itself
returned to
in half.
Japan,
Dear Lord.
Suzuki
Yeah,
began
that's
to
fun.
assemble
God.
a team.
How much is a metal Beyblade?
He ran
launcher
job ads in the
expected?
newspaper and hired a group of 15 that included a former trading firm employee, a former self-defense forces officer, and an employee of a bread maker. All were new to retailing. Everything hinged on the manual, which had arrived from the US. But when Suzuki had it translated, he was
85 to
shocked.
110 pounds.
Everything in
And
it
you
was
bent it in
elementary,
half.
like how to ring up a
Oh my
sale on the
God.
register and give change.
I'll say it again.
Most of it was
Why have you
about
done that, you
training
silly sausage?
part-time staff. On the
So I don't
crucial
believe that
matters
it
of
quite
where
went
to
through the
locate a
first time.
store and what kind of store to build, the manual was
when it comes
totally
to
silent.
Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh,
Suzuki and his team would
Honkai
have to
Star
identify a location for the first shop
Our
on
Spectre,
their own.
he gets a bit competitive. He kind of doesn't have
Just
much
as
chill.
Suzuki was at his
He
wit's
plays
end,
to win.
he
plays to
received
win
a
Are you
letter.
sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
It was
Are
from
you
a
sure
liquor
about?
store
Are
owner
you
who
sure?
had heard about
Oh,
the
yes.
convenience store idea and
So
wanted
people
to
melted it
convert
down,
his
made
shop.
30 wedding rings out of it. Well, I mean, at least they got new.
Suzuki went to visit this liquor store immediately. But what he saw was reclaimed land with nothing but factories and vacant lots. Tucked in one corner,
that's not a
he
liquor
found
store.
a tiny establishment just 73 square meters in area.
Oh no, I think that's a liquor store,
The
buddy.
location was far from ideal. But Suzuki
There's nothing
decided
stopping me
to
from
take
licking the
plunge.
employees.
Puzzling over what products would sell in the shop, he assembled an inventory of 3,000 items and put them on display. In May 1974, Japan's first convenience store finally opened.
Big Echo.
At 7 a.m. on opening day,
That's a karaoke
Suzuki
place.
and his team were anxiously waiting to see what would happen. But as soon as the doors opened,
we gave it to
customers
as a
started
test.
coming in.
As soon as I bent it in half,
The very
I took
first
my shop,
purchase was a
bottle
pair of
vodka, and drank
sunglasses.
my sodas away. Yeah, I'd probably
In
do
the
same.
afternoon, a queue of housewives and children formed. Sales that day were double what the liquor store made. But longer hours meant higher electricity and labor costs, and royalties had to be paid to the US, so profits were about the same. Those profits failed to improve over time. Suzuki looked closely at the operations for any inefficiency. Unsold for months. On the other hand, products such as soft drinks were often selling out. At the time, standard practice was to
75%
order
of
in
bottle.
bulk from wholesalers.
Neat.
A dozen boxes of detergent, 5 cases of drinks, and so on. Suzuki needed a wide assortment of items, but the amount of warehouse stock had become overwhelming. The sold-out items couldn't be ordered because there was nowhere to put the extra stock. So Suzuki came up with a bold plan. He would open several shops in the same area, and then have wholesalers divide the orders and deliver separately to each shop. Suzuki explained to the wholesalers that while each shop's order might be small, The sum for all the locations in the area would be worth the trouble. Further investigation revealed customer buying habits. With detergent, he found that large sizes did not sell at all, only small sizes. Rather than
Japan
instant
has room
ramen
for a
in a
big
bag,
box like that.
people bought
Especially of
instant
laundry
ramen in a
detergent.
cup. Almost no weekly magazine would sell after 4 days on the rack.
Maybe don't keep them for that long. News
As
updates.
Suzuki and his team identified the needs of convenience store customers and opened new locations, they gradually wrote their own manual. And after initially setting closing time at 11 p.m., in 1975 Suzuki responded to consumer demand for early morning and late night hours by switching to 24-hour operations. The know-how that was developed to run convenience stores the Japanese way is now being exported to many other countries, where it is demonstrating its true convenience.
Yeah, a fun bit of trivia. The company that owns 7-Eleven, it's based out here in America, in Dallas, Texas. But now, I think largely it's one of its biggest shareholders, I think. I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on this. I think one of its biggest shareholders is the Japanese subsidiary. Several years back, the parent company ran into financial trouble, and it was not a good time for 7-Eleven. Meanwhile, 7-Eleven Japan, or what's known as 7&I Holdings, they were doing just fine. So much so they'd expanded beyond just convenience stores to the point where they had their own bank, 7&I Bank.
Jesus Christ.
That bank basically took all the bad debts and everything from the parent company and said, yeah, we're going to write you a check, we're going to pay all this off, but in return, we own you now. So, yeah, it's a tale of the child bailing out the parent.
I don't think that's quite the child bailing out the parent. That's the equivalent of just the parent having debts. The house is about to be taken away. The child come along just saying, this is my house now.
Yeah, basically. But I think that because that happened, the silver lining is that 7-Eleven shops that were here in America that all had a reputation for just being run down and just awful. Finally, there was some influence from the Japan operation say, hey, maybe clean up your franchise locations, maybe clean up your owned and operated locations, maybe not have sticky floors everywhere and shit falling apart. And yeah, take care of your shit and, maybe introduce some quality products, I mean, nowadays they've got things like, whole pizzas that you can order, and they even have macarons. I mean, you would never think that a petrol station convenience store would have something like fancy French cookies, but here we are. And maybe put some in the fucking UK.
As we've just seen, the original concept for convenience stores came from America.
Imagine
But in
63-year-old Barry
1991, the
from the
American
pub
parent
working over
company that
7-Eleven.
licensed the trademark to the Japanese company hit financial trouble and ended up getting bought out by its Japanese licensee. And they then brought in Japanese know-how to the US operation, and the American parent made a miraculous recovery. Now, let's take a look at this shop here, which is a slightly unusual convenience store. As soon as you walk in the door, what do you see? Aromatherapy and natural cosmetics and soaps and things like that. And then when we move over here, we have a range of cleaning products imported from Belgium, made from plants and natural minerals. Fairly expensive, not the sort of stuff you'd really expect to see in a convenience store.
Basically, with natural Lawsons, picture a konbini if a Whole Foods threw up on it.
Ah, gotcha.
Some imported chocolates and things. These look very familiar to me from my childhood. And these cakes here look really tasty. Pistachio raspberry, oatmeal macadamia biscuits, maple pumpkin, and then little cookies here, microbiotic cookies these are.
All right, calm down. It's
The
just a
prices,
Japanese co-op.
too, are
You're
not what you
fine.
expect to see in convenience stores. Rather pricey, actually. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Good night, Spectre.
What kind of
Sleep
customers
well.
are you
Feel better
targeting in this
tomorrow.
store here?
This store targets female customers in particular. Our concept is beauty and health.
What kind of items sell particularly well?
For example, the selection of salads over here, and also these desserts. They're selling very well.
I've noticed that your merchandise here is actually quite expensive.
Well, our products use quality ingredients, so the prices reflect that. Other convenience stores don't carry many products focused on beauty or health. We have a good response from our customers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The convenience store market is said to be close to saturation now for several years, but the stores are still vying to find new areas to compete with each other. Let's take a look.
Yeah, with the decline of the Japanese population,
Yamashita
they are
Park in the
definitely
city of Yokohama.
oversaturated.
The convenience store here is offering a new service.
They're now
Oh,
having to. They're actually having to now
It
look
may
at
look like an
closing
ordinary
more
convenience
locations.
store at first glance, but
Oh,
then there
fuck.
are the children's
Just
toys.
'cause there's not enough people that go in to
and
buy
the picture
things.
books.
Wait, hang on. When
This
you say
convenience
decline,
store
is the
targets
population
mothers of young
dropping,
children.
or is
Yeah.
there just not as many people coming into existence?
It stocks baby
Both.
food for various
I mean,
stages
there's
of development.
Old people who are, shuffling off their mortal coil, but also the younger
And
people
on
aren't,
the other
they're not
side of
making
the shop,
babies.
there's a play structure and eating
Japan,
area.
consider this a note from both
Here,
I
babies
and
can be
Rexworth.
fed, toddlers
Have
can
sex
play,
more.
and mothers can chat
Yes,
with each
you
other
have love
while
hotels.
keeping an
Use
eye on
them.
their children.
Nintendo fucking started them.
I can meet local people here.
You can check that actually. That was a thing
It's a
at one
good
point.
place to make friends with other mums.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm
In
coming here
Nintendo's
every
history,
day now,
when they started out, they were
making new
doing.
friends.
I think it was like a.
I don't
They were
have to
doing
worry if my
not
kids
trading
whine
cards,
or
but like.
are
Oh, what are
noisy.
they called?
Everyone understands.
They were doing a sort of card,
I
and
really
then their first big
appreciate that.
collaboration was with Disney.
This
And after that, they
Tokyo
tried
store,
sticking their
which
fingers
opened
in
in
every
May,
single
pursues the
pie,
theme of
including taxi service, love
Right by the
hotels.
entrance are
They
vegetables.
even had some fingers with the
They're delivered
Yakuza
fresh
at
every
one
day
point.
from farms under contract.
I heard
or
about that with
owned by the
Sega
company.
too,
Yeah.
which doesn't surprise me.
The box lunches
Hey,
are
what
also
can I say? There's a
unusual.
reason why Sonic's fast. He's
The
got to run from the
constantly changing
police.
daily menu was developed under the guidance of a nutritionist to ensure low calories and
Love
good nutrition.
hotels, yes.
Here's a section
Love
where a different
hotels are basically, they're kind of as the name implies, a lot of Japanese houses and flats in the city and everything. The walls are thin, so you have a night of romantic intimacy with with your significant other, your spouse. The neighbors are going to hear it. If you've got children, they're probably going to hear it too. Nobody wants to hear that. That's just awkward. So they came up with the concept of love hotels that you pay by the hour, and they might have like a themed room or something like that, and you go there to shag. You go there to have sex.
It's not as fun to sex when the neighbors can hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So there you have it. Yeah, thin walls equals natural cooking, Lamau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
so-
when it comes to this sort of thing, the only thing it reminds me of is what's it called? You ever watch Mock the Week?
Mock the Week? No, I haven't. Should, though.
Basically, it's a group of comedians, and then consider it to be like a game show,
Mhm.
where there are points where it's all improvised comedy type of thing, and they're given a prompt, and one of it was unlikely chat-up lines or something like that, where one of the people came along saying, as if they were talking to a girl at a club, and then after talking to the girl, "Oh, you want to come back to mine, do you?" "Mom, I need the bottom bunk."
I really should watch this because I love improv comedy.
Ah, God. I'll send you a few if you want.
Yeah, please, by all means.
Yeah, I got you.
Want to get NTR'd?
Yeah.
Listen to your neighbors bang through thin walls, lol.
So, how did you get kicked out of your last apartment? I was banging too loud.
yeah, me and my beau were just having ourselves a lovely night, and then, yeah.
The doors were locked.
The doors were locked, but we were rocking the entire building as I rocked her.
Who was the loud one? Me. How long did it last? Not very long.
The way NTR our neighbors, no. It's like that one song. If the house is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. If the house is a rockin', come on, baby, come on in.
Health Food Maker
Oh,
features its
help.
new and recommended products each month.
Hello.
This way, both the chain
Rex,
and the
I'm gonna need you to shut up
can
right
see
there.
the reactions of health-conscious consumers.
I said I'm gonna need you to stop right there.
The magazine rack.
Oh, it's fine. He's telling you to
What if
stop,
I
not me.
don't, Jedi? What are you going to do about
The
it?
shop also sells medicine. A pharmacist is
going to
available
tell
for
you
consultation
on your
24
mother.
hours a day.
Going to tell your mum.
There's this special machine on the premises.
good luck with that.
Codes for a nuke.
Let's see.
You can measure your weight,
Good
See, I have a little
percentage,
notepad
and
here.
muscle mass. In this shop, all kinds of efforts are
Ben
made
and
to
Miss
appeal
Rex
to the
were
health
actually
conscious.
probably get a kick out of it. If she could understand what
Meanwhile, to appeal
VTubing
to
and live
elderly
streaming
customers
really is.
too, this store
She still
started
thinks
a
I
special new
host
service.
a podcast, which I do, but
For senior
she thinks this
citizens
is
who have trouble
podcasting
getting out
somehow.
to the shops or carrying heavy groceries,
I don't
store
want to
employees
explain it.
deliver
That would take
food
too long.
and daily
I'm just like,
necessities.
You know, I could just.
Good
I
morning.
could just. I could
How are
spend
you?
like half an hour trying
you
to
feeling
explain the
okay?
call and still not
Yes,
have the message
I'm
take,
fine.
or I could.
The goal
just
is to
say,
gain
just nod my
steady
head and say,
customers
yes,
among the
Mom, yes,
elderly
that's exactly what
by
I'm doing.
becoming a familiar, reliable presence
I
in their
mean,
lives.
she's technically not wrong because you're holding a podcast cat.
There are customers who have not come to our store before, or
I-
who wanted to,
I
but weren't
started
able
streaming
to.
on
And we are
Twitch
hoping to increase
properly
our sales by
while I was
reaching
still
out
in
to those
university,
people.
and my mother has no idea.
Reaching
I have
customers
no
who
idea how to
haven't shopped
explain
much
this
at
to
these
her.
stores in the past
She
is a
understands
new
Netflix.
challenge for Japan's convenience stores.
And I have no idea how to explain this stuff, bearing in mind
Back in the old
the
days,
concept of
every
streaming
small
is
town and rural village had its own general store.
our knowledge of
Which
streaming
made
is
a lot of sense
Netflix
because they were only
exists.
serving a small
Yes.
population. And that historical
great.
aspect may be one reason
Lovely
why
place to
convenience
start off
stores
on.
took off so rapidly in Japan.
Just
Despite
tell
all
her
the
it's
convenience,
Netflix,
there is a
but they're so
downside. Because the
radicalizing
stores are
them.
all open 24 hours a day, there are issues of
No,
energy
I'll just hope for the
consumption,
best
not
with
to
I thought
mention
streams
food
on the
wastage.
internet.
The upside,
like,
though, as we've
yeah,
seen on
community
today's program,
access to
for
local
example, with
access
the
TV.
deliveries
Yeah,
for
that's what I'm
elderly
doing.
people, is
I
that
suppose that could
convenience
fly.
stores
They
are
know what that
increasingly
is.
becoming focal points for their
Honestly,
communities.
I feel
and
like
even
it'd be
serving
easier
a
for me to
social
just say
function.
I'm watching
I'll see you
various
next
content known as. You get the idea.
Japan's fascination with books, which dates from the era of woodblock prints, is evident to this day in the world's largest antiquarian book district and new business ventures in remote regions.
Yeah, we're definitely not watching that. Let's see.
hang
Here
on.
we go. Let's learn about.
There you go. That's a good one.
Let's skip over to whiskey. Because everybody likes whiskey, right?
Me, who's not a good drink.
Got a favourite whiskey, by the way.
Pretty much it.
Sir, 17-year-old.
Right,
The
that's
moment when a
Taketsuru.
Japanese blended malt whiskey was selected as the world's best. A stunning
I can
achievement.
see why, it's damn good.
But in fact, over the past 10 years or so, premium Japanese whiskies have won top prizes almost every year. As a result, more and more people around the world have become fans of Japanese whiskey.
Drink it cut with a little cold water, and its aroma blossoms.
Japan is halfway around the globe from the world's traditional whiskey-making centers. But for a century, whiskey has been made in Japan, with Japanese drinkers in mind. This time on Japanology Plus, our topic is whiskey. We'll explore how Japan's relatively young whiskey industry has made such rapid strides.
Everybody else ran so they could walk.
Hello and welcome to Japanology Plus. I'm Peter Barakan. I'm in Hokkaido, the northernmost of Japan's
Oh, no
four
wonder
main
there's so much
islands.
snow on the ground.
This is Yoichi,
I
a town
missed
of
the
20,000,
snow
about
already.
an hour's train ride out of Sapporo.
you
Yoichi is
probably
home
still
to
see
the
some in
distillery of
Hokkaido.
one of Japan's leading whiskey makers. Now, when you think of whiskey, you automatically go Scotland and probably Ireland, possibly America and even
Yeah, that's
Canada.
'cause they're good.
But recently, the world has started to take
Except
notice
Damn
of Japanese whiskey too. And on today's program, we're going to find out why.
It was the early 1920s when commercial distillation of whiskey began in Japan. It was an era of rapid westernization, and the quest to make an authentic Japanese whiskey was in tune with the times. Two men were instrumental in bringing whiskey making to Japan: Shinjiro Tori and Masataka Taketsuru. In 1899, Tori established a company to make and sell wine. His aim was to offer Japanese consumers alcoholic drinks that would measure up to Western originals.
Something happened to the face of the
Later,
Scotch.
Tori joined forces with a man who had studied whiskey at the source.
I don't know why, but he looks
in
like Flappy
Scotland.
Bird.
Masataka Taketsuru had learned the ropes in Campbelltown. He had compiled 2 notebooks full of information about whiskey making.
Taketsuru actually travelled to Scotland and spent several years there apprenticing and learning how to make whiskey. And I think he even married a Scottish woman, brought her back to Japan with him. And yeah,
He has very good taste.
he spent the rest of his life just trying to make the best damn whiskey in the world. He's doing God's work there, he is.
These later became key manuals for
And the
whiskey
ink
production
measurements,
in
this
Japan.
Japanese man going home and just hearing, "Have you done it yet?"
In 1923,
Right.
Tori, with the expert
Have you
assistance
managed?
of Taketsuru, built Japan's first
Oh,
malt
don't
whiskey
worry, you'll get it
distillery
eventually.
at Yamazaki, between Kyoto and Osaka. Japanese whiskey making began with efforts to recreate Scotch whiskey. In 1929, a Japanese whiskey comparable to an imported one was launched. But first-time Japanese drinkers were not impressed with the trademark smokiness of Scotch.
Philistines.
So, Tori set to work
Those of
improving
you
the
that
raw
don't know
distilled
English
spirits and their
that good,
blending,
he
seeking
said
to create a
weirdos.
whiskey tailored to Japanese preferences. Taketsuru, meanwhile, was determined to stay true to the original flavor of Scotch, and he ended up building his own distillery in Yoichi, Hokkaido. This set the stage for a rivalry between Tori and Taketsuru to make Japan's finest whiskey, a rivalry that ended up creating Japan's top 2 whiskey makers. Whiskey drinking itself evolved in new ways in Japan. People would drink whiskey with their meals, like beer or wine. For a better balance, the whiskey would be diluted with club soda, cold water, or even hot water.
You
In
freaks.
this way, a new set of customs began to emerge around a drink
understand
that
the
had been
ice, but-
introduced from abroad.
What? How bad of a day are you having?
Our guest on this edition of Japanology Plus is
Whoever
Mamoru
pulled that is not
Tsuchiya,
okay.
the editor-in-chief of the first magazine in Japan that was devoted
Whiskey with
entirely
foods.
to
Yeah,
whiskey.
why not? I mean, whiskey goes well with like a steak or something like that. I've even had whiskey with sushi before, and it's fine.
I'm just imagining some guy walk out of a kebab shop with a whiskey.
I mean, I suppose you could do that, yeah.
I mean, nothing's stopping you. You'd just be a bit of a weirdo. Or, as what Rexworth would say, whatever the fuck you said 5 minutes ago.
Philistine.
Yeah, that. He'll just call you Frankenstein or something.
I
Whatever that
don't
was.
think any of us are okay anymore, Best Brit.
Huh?
I mean, if we were all okay, we wouldn't be drinking now, would we?
Well, not necessarily. Sometimes you drink to,
Celebrate?
numb the pain, and sometimes you drink to celebrate, yeah. That's why they
Exactly.
say alcohol is the cause of and solution to all of our problems.
I mean, you can't sell happiness, but you can gladly buy and sell beer, and that's just the same thing in liquid form.
Yeah. Alcohol is a sign that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
Exactly. Why do you think they made Jesus' blood wine?
Now, are you okay, Best Brit?
Oh, I'm fine, actually.
You sure, bud?
We're
I'm
all
not
just
saying fine as in
tickety-boo
the
here.
world's on fire. I'm just saying fine because okay is too many syllables.
Okay. That's only 2 syllables.
Well, that's one syllable too many.
That many syllables scares me.
Welcome to grammar class.
I mean, it's still far less than what I would say is that I'm just tickety-boo.
Power
Now
of
you're
Christ
just not
compels you.
speaking English anymore, Rex.
What?
I said you're just not speaking English anymore.
Of course I am. Tickety-boo is a time-honored old slang phrase to say I'm fine. Tickety-boo. Tickety-boo, Angel Rose. It's fancy way of saying, yeah, I'm all right.
That's some Oompa Loompa propaganda right there.
No, it's actually
Fucking
Danny Kaye.
Fucking Oompa Loompa tickety boo. I've got another puzzle for you.
More along the lines of everything is tickety-boo, tickety-boo, tickety-boo. Everything is tickety-boo on such a dreamy peaches and creamy day.
I believe you mean what will you get when whatever the fucking line is. Wait, what the fuck is the lines to the Oompa Loompa song?
Oh, it changes with each one of the kids that acted up.
The only one I can remember is from Family Guy, which is what do you get when you're stuck in a chair? Which I am probably not allowed to continue.
Probably not.
Yeah, for TOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Imagine trying to say tickety-boo 5 times fast. I mean, I can probably do it, but I don't have anything to prove, so I won't.
Whiskey. There are now about a dozen whiskey distilleries in Japan, and we're going to visit the one in Yoichi, a town in
I mean, there
Japan's
are
northernmost
definitely
main
better
island,
tongue
Hokkaido.
twisters out there.
Yes.
Such as, can you imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie?
The distillery gate. Let's go on in. Taketsuru-san, the founder of this place,
If I think about
why
that
did
too
he
long.
choose Yoichi as a place to build his distillery?
Whiskey?
He
No,
searched
that-
around
I
Japan for a
love
place
thinking
with
about
a
whiskey.
similar
I probably
geography
think about it
and
too
climate
much.
to
I
Scotland.
may have a problem.
And he felt that Yoichi was the best fit.
Right, Rexworth.
One reason
I
is
know
that
you're
whiskey
probably just
making
going to say
requires
it's
a lot of
tickety-boo,
fresh water.
but are you okay?
And a river called the Yoichigawa
Yeah, I'm
runs
alright.
behind the distillery.
Okay.
Like Scotland's rivers, it is a
Nice,
peat
you know,
river.
tongue
They used to
twister
have
and fat.
wetlands around here. So there is an ample
I
supply
mean,
of
it's
water,
either the one I just said
and
or a
also
line from
plenty of
Money
the peat
Game Part
needed
2,
for drying the malt.
which is about 5 minutes
Scotland
long
has
or
a
something
cold
like that.
climate, of course, like Hokkaido. But as you can see, it snows a lot here, and that's not the case in Scotland. Does that make a big difference?
Yoichi probably has colder winters, and the average summer temperature in Yoichi is higher than Scotland's. That results in whiskey
Well,
that
that's not hard,
matures
it's
more
Scotland.
dynamically in the barrel here than in Scotland. But the key thing is that the weather remains at least cool all through the year and
Such a
maintains
kind and polite way
certain
to say,
stable
yeah, Scotland,
humidity.
your weather's shite.
Whiskey is made by distilling a mash of barley or other grains that have been fermented in water. The raw distilled spirit is originally colourless, but when aged in wooden casks for as long as 30 years or more, it acquires the amber hue of whiskey.
You know somebody's drank all of that by accident thinking it's water and died.
First of all, Suchiya takes Peter to see the stills.
This
I
is
mean,
the
you've got to keep
still
sampling
building.
it to make sure it's
This is
all
where
good.
the distilling is done.
Yeah.
Hello.
How much you get paid for that?
Mind if we look around?
You're using coal
You know.
to fire the stills. Is that a
know
normal
what?
thing in distilleries?
I want to visit a whiskey
This is
distillery
the
one day.
only coal-fired distillery in the world.
Only here in Yoichi do they use coal.
Or shoveling coal.
Everywhere else, it's become standard to use more efficient forms of
If
steam
you read
for
as
heating.
red or...
So why keep on using it?
Oh, I can do that.
Coal
You're
gives a hot
reading
fire,
what you
which
read
produces
because
a
red
raw
is red and
spirit
not
with more
red.
punch.
And read is read,
That's why we
not
stick with coal.
read.
Need a hand?
Burning coal produces a hot flame.
Maybe.
So the temperature at the bottom of the
If you
still
read
is
read as red
1000
or
to
red
1200
as
degrees
red,
Celsius.
and or
That
read,
imparts a
then you
very
aren't
strong
reading
flavor.
what you
And that-
read, because red is red, not read. And read is read, not red.
Yeah, all of our brains are hurting. Jedi, don't do that again, please.
That is why they use coal.
So it does actually affect the taste as well.
That's right.
What are the most difficult aspects of using coal?
The toughest part is regulating the flame. It's not good for it to be too strong or too weak, so constant checking and adjustments is required.
Coal is a very tricky fuel to work with. It requires a great deal of technical expertise and also years of experience. Now, this
You're
is what is
shoveling
known
coal,
as new
man.
make.
How hard can it be?
The raw spirit.
That's whiskey.
Yes. When first distilled, it's always colorless.
Oh, really? I had no idea. Wow.
That's moonshine.
But this can't be called whiskey yet.
Yes,
To be
it's called
whiskey,
moonshine.
it must be aged in barrels. Then it will take on an amber color and become whiskey. At this stage, it's just raw spirit.
Okay. Can I have a
ghost.
smell just to see?
No, it's a demon.
Okay. Oh, that's quite a nice
Don't
smell.
drink this.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Next, Suchiya takes Peter to a warehouse for aging whiskey.
Not shown on the program, Peter Bettercon taking a sip of it and going, oh, man, that's got a lot of bite to it.
Oh, God.
I've tried managing a fire with coal. It's harder than it looks. Oh.
Don't know
This
why
is the
what you
warehouse
said only
where the
reminds me
new
of.
make
Have you ever watched
spirit
Bullet
you
Blend?
just had a whiff off is aged in casks.
Oh, God. It's just a
The
guy
distillery
with a
here in
blender, and he
Yoichi
blends
has
absolutely
many of
everything.
these warehouses. Right now, the distillery's chief blender, Tadashi Sakuma, is taking samples.
That sounds crazy.
Nice to see you again.
Hello.
Thank you for letting us in here. I'm
Okay, go on.
starting to get drunk just on the smell.
One of the last ones he did was the
the vapors.
iPhone 12.
They put an iPhone 12 into a blender.
Yep.
Did it blend?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
One of my favorite ones. I think he blended glow sticks or something.
Made his entire blender glow in the dark.
Oh, no, he pretended to drink it.
Ugh.
Which I'm realizing nowadays it's not the most appealing content, but considering that this one came out like 17 years ago and I was like 4, this was like peak content for little 4-year-old Vesperit.
Yeah. That, I mean, back then that's about all there was. That and a day
yeah.
at the zoo.
Nah, I wasn't
Raw
going to the
spirit is
zoo. I was watching people
63.5%
blend things.
alcohol.
That's correct, yes. In the new casks that we manufacture ourselves.
So you have new barrels and old barrels. What's the difference there with regards to making whiskey?
Basically,
One of them was
new
thrown by
casks
Donkey
have a
Kong,
high
and-
content of the chemicals found in the wood. So when the spirit is aged in them, it absorbs a lot of woody aroma and flavour. As casks are used repeatedly, they give off less and less of those chemicals. So aging in a cask for the first time and the third time has different results. And different types of casks, like sherry casks, impart different aromas to the whiskey.
Are there any major differences in the way that whiskey is
really
made
big on
in
sherry
Japan
casks over
and
there.
other countries?
I think I can answer that one. In Scotland, there are around 100 distilleries like this. Japan has far fewer. And those 100 or so Scottish distilleries, even though they are rival companies, trade raw spirit among themselves. That is how they make blended Scotch whisky. And the more variations of raw spirit they have to work with, the more stable the resulting flavor profile. But in Japan, there are very few
100,
distilleries, and they don't have a system for trading raw spirit among themselves. So Japan has a unique system in which a single distillery produces multiple different raw spirits. You won't find that in Scotland.
Which explains why Suntory and Nika, they have not just spirited beverages, but they've got everything from to like fruit juices and sodas and bottled water and all these other diverse holdings. I think they've even got snack foods and actual dry goods products.
I believe they call that Iron Brew.
I think you're right.
Now, it's easier said than done for one distillery to produce multiple types of raw spirit. It takes a great deal of technical expertise, and that expertise isn't developed overnight. It takes a long time. That's a remarkable thing about Japanese distilleries. They've been creating differentiated spirits for many years, and now they are very proficient at it. It's a really striking feature.
Broadly speaking, whiskey falls into three types. Malt whiskey is made solely from malted barley. Grain whiskey is made from corn or other grains, and blended whiskey is a combination of malt whiskey and grain whiskey. Among these three, blended whiskey is the most widely consumed around the world. One key factor contributing to the great global reputation of Japanese whiskey is the quality of its blenders. They offer top-class expertise. A blender is a specialist who creates the ideal whiskey by combining dozens of different raw spirits aged in different casks. Blenders thus play a crucial role in creating a company's identity. Japan's first whiskey distillery was built here in Yamazaki. What can we learn about the art of whiskey blending here? Seiichi Koshimizu became an industry legend as Yamazaki's chief blender. A number of his whiskies were acclaimed as the best in the world. His success rested on expert use of every sense, not just taste and smell, and also an unbreakable routine.
Tempura udon?
Yes, please.
Every day for lunch, he would eat tempura udon, because eating something different would change how his taste buds behaved. He also gargled again and again each day to ward off colds. Some years ago, Koshimizu was asked to create a new blend. This one would be a whiskey aged 25 years, the world's premier class, selling for more than 100,000 yen a bottle in Japan. A whiskey aged 25 years means that the youngest cask included in the blend is at least 25 years old. Koshimizu was entrusted with casks of whiskey stored for decades by the distillery. He started looking for characteristics that differentiated each spirit as it matured over time. First, he took samples of almost 300 different whiskies from the casks to determine which would go into the blend.
Not much character. This might not work. I don't think this one will fit either.
Having assessed the characteristics of each spirit, he formed an image of the blend he was aiming for. He narrowed down the candidate spirits to 70 from 300. Then he started thinking seriously about the balance of characteristics. He decided the key element would be a smoky nose. So, he emphasized smoky spirits in the blend and got down to work.
What's this top note I'm getting? I don't have a good feeling about this. Maybe it comes from the immaturity in number 3.
Number 3 had a good smoky aroma, but was still somewhat immature. It retained a scent of the original grain. Ultimately, he decided it was not worthy of inclusion in a super premium whiskey. To find an alternative to number 3, Koshimizu started re-evaluating all 300 spirits. He was looking for one that had the necessary strength of character to contribute to a whiskey aged 25 years.
The way I always feel about blending is that there's no such thing as a perfect 100. That's to leave myself room to improve, I suppose. There's always room for improvement.
After a year and a half of work, this is the whiskey that the distillery put on sale, one born from the total dedication of a master whiskey blender. Since then, Koshimizu has passed on the task of blending to the next generation. Nowadays, he travels around the country giving lectures to win more fans of whiskey. Today in Yoichi, Peter has a chance to see a blender's work firsthand.
Today we have 5 types of spirit from different casks, different yeasts, different applications of peat, and so on. And also one that's totally different from a malt whiskey, a grain whiskey. So 6 spirits in all. First of all, here's a malt whiskey from a sherry cask.
Oh, yes, that's quite a strong aroma.
I think you'll notice hints of raisin and other dried fruits in the aroma. Are you getting that?
Yeah, there's a kind of sweetness to it, but it's strong but sweet, yeah, and there is a fruity sort of tang to it as well, yeah. So shall we...
Yes, I'm going to blend up a nice basic whiskey with a good balance. So here we go.
Hi.
We can see how much of each you used.
Yes, I'm aiming for a total quantity of 10 milliliters.
It's a fascinating process.
So how many milliliters of that?
About half a milliliter.
Only half? Wow. And quite a bit of that one.
So
Seen
you
this
add
episode in Breaking
quite a lot
Bad.
of the grain. Oh, it's interesting.
I'm aiming for a basic, typical sort of blended whiskey flavor. That's the kind of combination I'm looking for.
100% street legal.
Oh.
How's that?
This is exciting.
Oh. Yeah, it's kind of sweet and fruity and smoky and
Yes, there is a balance of different flavor elements that is just right.
By blending 6 different aromas, you get something completely different.
Oh, that's really...
That's what's so fascinating about blending.
I didn't
Go
realise
on,
that
Peter, down the
just
hatch.
smelling a drink without actually bringing it up to your lips could be so much fun.
Hi, I'm Matt Alt. So, how do you like your whiskey? Straight up? On the rocks? Well, right now, we're going to go to a Japanese bar that specializes in making traditional cocktails with a Japanese twist. This cozy basement bar is home to some of the city's top mixology, and it's run by Mr.
This is my sort of place.
Ueno. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Welcome. Thank you. So, can you tell me, what are some of the ways that
By the way, chat, free plug, not sponsored or anything, but Matt Alt actually has a great book out. Just search Matt Alt in Amazon. I think it's called Pure Imagination, but it's actually a really brilliant book on Japanese pop culture. Yeah, really good. Go check it out.
I don't know why, but with it paused like that, it looks like
For a long time, Japan has had its own unique style of drinking whiskey.
Can you show that to me?
I'd love to. I'll demonstrate one by one. First, a whiskey highball. Whiskey mixed with club soda. But you don't want the soda to be frothy.
They actually sell these by the can in Japanese konbini. So if you see these tall aluminium cans with the little gold or silver and have the Suntory logo on them, they are whiskey highballs in a can. And they're all right. They're so-so. Oh, Luna, I see you popped in. Hello.
Right.
Regular on the rocks is too strong for Japanese drinking tastes. So, if you dilute the whiskey 1-to-1 with cold water and then serve it over ice, you get...
Monster energy drinks aren't agreeing with me.
How many have you had?
One. Actually, half a can.
Well, that's upset your tum.
No, it's it gives me a mass saliva build-up, and it's getting trapped in my throat, so it's making me fucking gag.
Ugh. Yeah. Not pleasant. No.
Yeah, no.
Get a half on the rocks.
Worst
That's
bit is I
become
gotta go to
popular in
sleep
Japan
now.
in recent years. It's a very Japanese way to drink
Eventually
whiskey.
you'll have the crash, so...
I'm surprised I can actually sleep
Next,
after
if you
having a
pour
Monster,
hot water
even with
into the
ADHD.
whiskey, just the right amount, you get a hot
I don't know
whiskey
how,
and
but I
water.
can.
But what about on the rocks? How about just whiskey on the rocks?
Japan has hot and humid summers. My customers enjoy having whiskey on the rocks with a sphere of ice.
Stream
It's very...
basically has ended as
How'd it go?
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. My chat was dead as a doornail anyway.
Oh, it'll pick up. It'll get more lively.
very popular.
Yeah, I hope it does.
Let me demonstrate for
Yeah, well,
you.
just takes time.
Right now.
Also, I checked your thing and it didn't say I went live.
Oh, it carves so easily, so smoothly.
Yes, you just keep cutting off corners and it gets rounder and rounder.
Yeah.
By carving up a nice sphere on the spot for each customer, it makes the drink taste better.
They've got me on their stream.
That's what I think, at least.
It's just not working for some reason.
I could watch this all day. This is beautiful, beautiful work.
How does that look?
Wow.
Alone, I think it's
Beautiful. It's like a diamond or something.
Now watch as I pour the whiskey over it. Watch the ice float up as the liquid goes in. So beautiful. Now please enjoy.
Just look at how that catches the light.
You need to cut it like that.
This really is like a jewel in a whiskey glass. Well, this is certainly beautiful, but is there a reason why you carve the ice into a perfect sphere like this?
Ice cubes melt from the corners, they say. So the idea is to eliminate all the corners. That way, you minimize the melting and dilution while still cooling the drink. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to improve the cooling effect.
Right, that makes
Better
sense
living
if
through
you don't
science.
water down your drink. But more importantly, shut up and get it down, yeah!
It works.
Oh, hello.
I could stay here all evening, but while I'm still sober, I have a request. Can you show me how to make an ice cube like this?
I'm sure you'd like to jump right in and try it how I did it. But carving ice with a knife is not for beginners. So, hold it in this cloth and use this ice pick instead. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Ideally, you should try to just remove the corners evenly like I did. Here we go. The corners.
Like this.
Not towards your fingers.
Like this. Not like this, like this.
Right.
Wish me luck. Oh, okay.
Godspeed, Matt. You're gonna need it.
Oh, the ice is really flying.
You've also got to hurry. This thing's melting. Yeah, as you're finding out the hard way, lad.
That was really scary.
As it gets rounder, it can slip more easily, so watch out. And the ice is melting away all the time.
I see.
The point here
Polite
is
way
to
of saying
finish
hurry
it
the
before
fuck
the
up,
body
man.
heat from your hand melts the ice down smaller. Just a little heat is fine.
I'm sorry.
You muppet.
I'm sorry. That was really bad. I'm sorry. Now, fortunately, there's another way of making perfectly round ice cubes, or ice spheres, I guess you'd call them. This device. It's made here in Japan, and it uses a heated two pieces of metal here that you heat by soaking them in hot water, and then you put the ice cube in the middle and let the weight sculpt the ice into a perfect ball. Let's take the top off. Oh, look at that. Much nicer than the one that I just carved. This is perfect. Well, that was fun. Not often
I
I
don't
get
know
to drink
about
on the
you, but
job
I would
like
stuff that in a
One of the really
snowball
cool
and throw
things
it
about
at
a
somebody
cocktail
very
bar like
hard.
this is seeing all the craftsmanship
Right.
that Japanese bartenders put into their creations. Next time you come to Japan, even if you don't drink, you might find it interesting to check out. Until then, see you next time.
We have these extremely neatly written notebooks here.
Yes, Masataka Taketsuru, who founded this facility in Yoichi, wrote these notebooks at a distillery called Hazelburn in Campbelltown, Scotland. He trained there for 3 months in 1920.
Well, since he wrote these, it's been almost 100 years.
Yes.
Getting on for it, if that was 1920.
Yes.
That Japanese whiskey is really recognized now around the world. Where does it go from here?
Japanese whiskey is continuing to be made at full capacity, so we will probably see new developments in the Japanese whiskey scene. I think we may see the emergence of smaller craft distilleries and a new breed of whiskey makers. More people are getting involved. 4 or 5 new distilleries have already started up.
We've seen quite an increase in craft beer over the last few years. Can we expect to see the same kind of thing then with whiskey?
Well, when you brew beer, you can sell the product immediately. With whiskey, though, it takes almost 10 years. What's interesting about whiskey is that it's like a human being. Think of the way it grows and changes over time. It changes over the period of time it spends in the cask. It's like a human life. Taketsuru made many whiskies that he was not able to drink in his lifetime. And those making whiskey right now may not be able to taste the fruit of their labor until 10 or 20 years from now, in their retirement years. So the way that whiskey involves passing things on to the next generation of technicians, of craft workers, is really fascinating.
Okay, well, cheers to the future.
Cheers.
Cheers to the future. Cheers.
Great way of looking at things.
This is good.
Next time, our theme is the quest for perfect skin. Many Japanese women pursue an ideal complexion that demands devoted care and harnesses aesthetic concerns dating back centuries.
So we've had something to drink. Let's have something to eat. Let's have some yoshoku.
NHK World.
Me, Farouk.
On streets throughout Japan, restaurants can be found serving a style of cuisine known as yoshoku. It's a strange mix of different influences. Spaghetti from Italy. Hamburg steaks that take their name from the German city of Hamburg. Just about everything on the menu originated in the West. But often this food is eaten with chopsticks. What's more, it's usually served with rice. Yoshoku literally means Western food. But you won't find food quite like this in the West. It's certainly not traditional Japanese either. Yoshoku is a hybrid that's unique to Japan. Yoshoku dishes are now firm favourites with young and old, and every family has its own way of preparing them. After Japan opened its doors to the world 150 years ago, Japanese cooks began adapting dishes introduced from the West to create their own style of cooking. Today in Begin Japanology we look at Yoshoku, Japan's distinctive take on Western cuisine.
Hello and welcome to Begin Japanology. I'm Peter Barakan. Our theme for this week is yoshoku, literally Western food, although I for one have never seen anything in the West that looks quite like yoshoku. The dictionary defines yoshoku as Western dishes adapted to Japanese tastes. In other words, you're taking food that originally comes from France or Italy or wherever, but instead of presenting it exactly as it would be in the country of origin, by using Japanese cooking techniques and ingredients, you're creating something completely new. Now, for many years, yoshoku has been an integral part of the Japanese culinary landscape. Anyway, first of all, let's define our terms and look at exactly what we mean when we say yoshoku.
In a survey in 2005, primary and middle school students were asked what foods they liked best. Top of the list, alongside sushi, was the yoshoku dish known as curry rice. A food that derives from India is now just as popular as sushi, the Japanese food best known around the world. On average, Japanese people eat curry around 80 times a year. In other words, more than once a week. This means Japan is one of the world's great curry-consuming nations. But yoshoku curry rice is very different from Indian curry. Instead of being very spicy, the curry served to children is even sometimes sweetened with honey or apple and yogurt. There are plenty of other yoshoku specialities besides curry.
With sweet.
This is a typical yoshoku restaurant in Tokyo.
me, it's always been a bit of a savory dish.
Since it was set up 40 years ago, it has specialized in Yorshoku cuisine. It's always busy throughout the day. Yorshoku cuisine has existed for about 150 years now. During that century and a half, it has continued to evolve, and now it's firmly established in Japan. At first glance, many dishes look Western, but the recipes were actually developed in Japan. Take spaghetti. Of course, this type of pasta originated in Italy. But the way it's prepared as a Yorshoku dish is rather different from the way it's eaten in its homeland. In Japan, the boiled spaghetti is cooked up with green peppers and onion, and it's flavored with tomato ketchup. This is a key ingredient in Yorshoku.
Oh no, not ketchup.
In other countries, ketchup is mostly used as a table sauce, but in Japan, it's often used as a seasoning in cooking.
Ah, Angel Rose, welcome in.
This ketchup-flavored pasta is known in Japan as spaghetti napolitan. The name comes from the Italian city of Naples,
yes,
but you'll never find this dish in Italy.
Wait, say again, Luna.
Yesterday was an amazing stream.
Oh yes, that's right. Caught the karaoke stream. It was quite good.
I was lurking.
Yes, you did excellent.
Hmm.
Yes, by the way, let's
Thank you.
let's get some shout outs for everybody in here.
Huh?
There we go. There's that.
Said what?
Team member of
Huh?
Sway.
Kid 07. Then shout out for Best Brit here. And last
Oh
but
my
certainly-
god, that was me. No way.
That was you.
Nah, wasn't canon. Fake. Never happened. Wasn't real.
That was you.
Not canon. That's some sort of fan fiction propaganda from Rexworth.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Best damn fan fiction ever. Anyways, let's continue watching the Japanese make a terrible, horrible mistake of putting ketchup in spaghetti, and no, that's just. It was going so well. It was going so well, and then they put the ketchup in, and no, it's supposed to be marinara. No.
Quote Joseph
It's actually a
Joestar.
Japanese
I'll
dish
never forgive the
invented here
Japanese.
after World War II. Another popular
Just for that,
recipe is
you-
to season spaghetti with soy sauce, a very Japanese flavour, and it's sprinkled with nori seaweed, giving it an entirely Japanese character. This is another Japanese original.
And by the way, chat, I do apologize for the full screen ratio, the 4:3 rather than 16:9. That's what this was captured in. I think it was possibly what it was originally taped in. This video was seen, I think, was originally broadcast, close to like 15 years ago. So that was still a transitional time when we were still dealing with like standard def versus high def and 4:3 ratio versus 16:9 ratio. It's complicated, but anyways, so just FYI on that.
First, a thin
Egg.
omelette is prepared.
Icky.
Egg.
Then rice,
Egg.
seasoned with tomato ketchup, is poured on top.
Again with the tomato. Well, I suppose with egg it's all right.
The chef carefully rotates the pan and then flips it over.
That's an art.
I was about to say, I think
That's
I.
the technique for making the dish known as
it's with
omuraisu.
rice. Ketchup
That's
and rice.
That is a burrito.
The name comes from the words omelette and
I was
rice.
about to say, I think I had
dreamed
these,
up in
but
Japan.
never mind. No, I did not.
One story has it that
Oh,
om
never
rice
mind,
was invented
dumbass.
by a chef who noticed that one of his regular customers liked to eat omelette with rice. Another theory is that it started as a
Kind
simple meal
of
for the
looks like a
kitchen crew,
croissant, though.
but later became part of the menu for the customers.
Oh, so that thing is fucking huge.
Yorshoku dishes are often combined
usually
together
are.
on the same plate. A serving of om rice may be topped with another Yorshoku favourite, a Hamburg steak.
What?
Here's another favourite, om rice topped with a breaded deep-fried pork cutlet.
Oh,
There are
God,
many
the pork
different
cutlets are
variations.
so good in
If
Japan.
a curry sauce is added, you can enjoy 3 Yorshoku dishes.
You know what?
Om rice,
I
pork
haven't had
cutlet,
pork
and
cutlet in
curry
Japan,
on a single
but
plate.
if they're anything to go off what I've had before, and if they're anything close to schnitzels, Jesus Christ.
I don't know about schnitzel. I do know it basically
Oh, it is insanely good.
Yeah, no, this is actually quite good. I've had it before. I actually had it at I can't remember which subway station I was at, but it was this. I tried it for the first time at this kind of traditional Japanese restaurant with like brand new wood paneling on the walls and everywhere, and I was just like, oh wait, they've got pork cutlet on the menu. I was like, I'll have one of those, and wow, it was so. Oh God, it was so good.
No what? There was
Still
this
have dreams
one
about it.
Damn. There was this one place that me, my father, and my brother went to in Germany, where they only do schnitzel, by the way.
Right.
Like the only stuff they have more diversity on the drinks menu than they do the actual food menu.
Oh yeah, as you do.
In order to make sure that they actually fill out space on the food menu, you could get 1 schnitzel, 2, 4, 8, 16, or 30.
30.
In the event where you'd have some fucking maniac come along buying 30 schnitzels, bearing in mind most of the time they would also come with like a free side of like fries or something like that. And oh god, they only really added that many to fill up menu space. It was just ridiculousness.
Yeah, that sounds
So my
like
dad,
a catered dinner or something.
saw my dad reading the whole menu and then just suddenly went wide-eyed.
It's like 30. My God.
Funniest part though, menu was only like a small A5 thing. Then all of a sudden gets a drinks menu, proper like A3 piece of proper like A3 pamphlet. Sorry.
Right.
One of the entire pages is just beer.
Makes sense where you are. That makes a lot of sense.
True.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you really come there for. The food at that point, even if it's 30 schnitzel, that's just sort of an afterthought.
Fun
Drinks are what matter.
Yeah. Come here to get drunk. The food is just to absorb some of the alcohol so you can drink more.
This is another combination dish, a Hamburg steak topped with beef stew. The juicy flavour of the Hamburg steak is given an extra depth by the richness
damn,
of the
that
stew.
sounds good. That looks good.
Smash.
Too.
Next question.
Yes, I
Oh
want some of that.
God.
Many Yorshoku restaurants
Hamburg
offer
steak
set
with
meals
beef
featuring
stew.
a combination
Yes,
of dishes,
please.
like this. There are 4 deep-fried ingredients.
Why is
a
it
chicken
airy?
cutlet, a ham cutlet, breaded deep-fried prawns,
Oh my
and
God,
a
that's-
croquette. There is rice on a separate plate, plus a bowl of Western-style soup or miso soup.
Oh.
Yorshoku meals are often served with rice rather than bread. Rice is the center of the Japanese diet, and the Yorshoku plates are considered side dishes to go with the rice.
It's a lot
Another
of carbs
feature of
in that
Yorshoku
plate.
cuisine is that it can be eaten with chopsticks, not just with a knife and fork. Compared with traditional Japanese cuisine, Yorshoku incorporates much more meat and egg, and seasonings such as ketchup give it a far more pronounced flavor. Eaten together with rice, these
Yeah,
tastes
the
blend in the
ketchup.
mouth, creating the
Yeah,
perfect
they're.
balance.
Precisely.
Another interesting feature of Yorkshire restaurants is that they often have window displays with models of the foods that are offered. The models, fashioned out of wax or plastic, are very realistic and make
That's
it
an
easy to see
entire
exactly
episode
what's
of,
on the menu.
Japanology, by the way, is
Models
just
like this
focusing on
date back
how
about
those
70
models are
years,
made.
when Yorshoku was still a bit exotic for Japanese customers.
It's
It
an
was a way to
entire
help them
art
understand
form and
what would
cottage
be on their
industry
plates.
all by itself.
The Kappabashi district of Tokyo is lined with shops selling cookware, and many of them sell these plastic food models called shokuhin sampuru. Besides being bought by restaurant owners, they also make popular souvenirs for tourists. Here's a pork cutlet. And here's a serving of rice. And
Sorry, I love
spaghetti,
the
complete with a fork poised above it. Perfect to the last detail. These models have become so popular they've been made into decorations as fridge magnets or mobile phone straps. These are very popular as souvenirs. Yet another sign of just how embedded Yorshoku has become
Wow,
in Japanese
you can get an arm rice bauble.
They're
Put it on
arranged
your
in
Christmas
order
tree.
of
God,
they're
I
the
was
top
just
10
about to
favourite
say,
foods of
makes a
children
perfect
under
Christmas
15,
ornament.
according to a survey carried out in 2005.
Oh God!
At number
I
one,
worry there's
sushi,
going to come
the
a day where
perennial
there's like a
favourite, which of course
sushi
is
at the
not
top
your
of my
shoku.
wife's Christmas tree.
Number two,
Oh my
Korean
God.
rice, another perennial favourite. And whenever these
Instead of-
surveys are
I
carried
could
out,
swear Hallmark
angel
has
of-
already done
they
that.
they swap positions all the
Wouldn't be
time.
surprised.
Rice,
Then
which
again,
you
there was
saw
the time
in
where
video,
Greg's
and,
replaced
that's
the
at
baby
number
Jesus
4.
with the sausage roll.
Number 5, steak, cut
I
into bite-sized
mean-
pieces, as most things tend to be in Japan.
The
Number
Greg's
7, pizza.
giveth and the Greg's taketh
Number
away.
8, fried
Blessed
rice,
be the
which
name
comes in
of
various
Greg's.
different forms. It could either be the Chinese type,
As the Japanese would
or
say,
the Western
Nani
one,
the
which
fuck?
is generically known in Japan as pilaf. Beside that, at number 9, pasta. Again, it comes in many, many different forms. That looks like the Napolitan. And at number 10, this was actually a Thai. What we see here on the table is pork cooked in ginger, and what tied with that was Korean barbecue. This is the top 10
Ginger
of kids
pork,
under
okay, that
15,
sounds
so
pretty good.
you can tell that this is what the younger people like to eat. Okay, I'm going to move back to this table here now, where I have a typical Yorshoku meal laid out. Traditionally, in Japanese cooking, the rice was the central part of the meal, and then you would have various little side dishes in different little bowls or plates that would come with it. With Yorshoku, everything gets bumped in together into the same plate. But I guess the idea is somewhat similar.
Prawns look delicious.
And all of the food, all of the ingredients are chosen to go well with rice. Again, you can eat either with a knife and fork or with chopsticks. But again, quite a few people do eat with chopsticks. And over the years, I think the food has generally become
All I'm saying,
food
good
which
luck trying to
is
use the
easy to eat with
chopsticks.
chopsticks. Another
I know,
indication
yeah,
of just
with-
how deeply entrenched Yorshoku
Pieces
is
that big,
in
that's,
Japan.
yeah.
Nevertheless, Yorshoku has only been around since the latter half of the 19th century. Well, in our next video, we're going to take a look at some of that history.
Since ancient times,
I'm not
rice has
sleeping
formed the
with this
central
monster.
pillar of the Japanese diet.
Don't do it.
Because Japan is surrounded by
Okay.
oceans and has many
Good
rivers,
night.
fish was also an
Okay.
important source of nutrition. Rice and fish became the staples of the Japanese cuisine, and meat was eaten only rarely. This was reinforced in the 7th century, after the Emperor Tenmu decreed that the population must follow the Buddhist precepts against the taking of life. His decree banned the killing of cows, horses, monkeys, and chickens. From then on, it became forbidden to eat meat, openly at least.
You had to do it in secret. Sit in a closet.
Cattle were much
That was
more
a black
important
market
for plowing the
trade of
rice paddies,
bacon.
and horses were vital for warriors in battle. The understanding that meat should not be eaten gradually spread through Japan and became strongly rooted. The first Europeans reached Japan in the 16th century, a time when Japan was riven by civil war.
Oh, wait a minute.
I've actually got a picture of the very first Englishman in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? There's a whole meme about it. Hang on. First Englishman in Japan. A fellow called William Adams, where there's a picture of him just being drawn normally, and a picture of him according to the Japanese.
I'm scared to see the difference.
Oh, it's terrifying. Where should I send it to the server or should I send it to you directly, Rex?
Go ahead and DM it to me and take a look at it real quick, and
So,
might actually put this up on. Oh dear God.
That's him according to the Japanese.
Okay.
And then this is how he looks normally.
Uh-huh.
So this is probably one of those Europeans that went over in the 16th century.
More than likely. I mean, the clothes certainly fit the profile for that. Anyways, let's show chat what it is that that you're on about. Let's see. We're going to add an image. New source. Add source.
And then, of course, there's the classic.
Right, so... I'm sorry, what was the name of this gentleman again?
William Adams.
William Adams. Okay, so here's classic, very well done portrait of William Adams for everybody to gaze upon. Now, I'm going to set this off to the left, and then we're going to show Mr. Adams from the perspective of the Japanese.
Oh, God.
There you have it. Dear Lord. He looks like a Wookiee. It's like, have they no concept of what facial hair looks like? Have they never seen a beard before? And those eyebrows, what is with the eyebrows?
I'm not gonna lie. I cannot unsee the eyebrows as the internal parts for Cornetto.
What is with the eyebrows?
What I think I find the most funny part is look at the shoulder pads.
Yeah, where's the shoulders?
They don't. According to the
Bro,
Japanese,
looks like
shoulders don't exist.
Bro, looks
Yeah,
like a
it's-
puppet.
It looks like, yeah, a giant head and a fat neck on a tiny little person's body.
Wait Oh, is it a bad thing that this kind of reminds me of a certain character? Hang on, let me see if I can find them.
Oh God, no.
And again, this might be doing a disservice to the character.
I love the caption on one of these. Come on, England, score some fucking goal. Oh dear.
I don't know why, but I can't unsee this geezer.
Oh God.
I got to show you what he's on about, chat. Hang on. Uncle Vernon here.
Oh God, not Uncle Vernon.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we do not speak of the previous talk of Uncle Vern.
Hang on.
Oh Lordy.
Oh.
Yeah. Here we go. It's not moving. I probably captured the wrong source, but yeah, we can see a little bit of a resemblance here. Yeah. Crash is just like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Yeah.
I'm just over here zoning out, and all I just see is just something that looks like Uncle Vernon. I'm just like, what the?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. I got to redeem this one. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yes. Yes.
Make it so.
I will send you to Jesus.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's the first Englishman, according to the Japanese. Thankfully, we all have a much more evolved sensibility about this sort of thing.
No, we don't.
Maybe
Well, some of us do.
some do, not all, but some.
I wonder which one of us doesn't.
Let us press forward with the
I will send you to Jesus.
God Almighty.
We both know that he isn't here.
traders was blown ashore on Tanegashima Island. Besides bringing guns to Japan for the first time,
There is no
the
God, there
Europeans
is
also
only
brought
me.
their meat-based
And
diet.
boomsticks.
However, while firearms spread rapidly, the European
Never
food
gonna say
had
end
very
with
little
drumsticks.
appeal. In the 17th century, at the start of the Edo period, the shogun decided to halt trade with all European nations except the Dutch. This meant that there was very little opportunity for European food to spread in Japan.
The fuck is that? The Mayflower? What?
But in the middle of the
No,
19th
that's
century,
a
things
Dutch
changed
trading
with the arrival
ship.
of US.
So they,
well,
yes,
my bad.
yeah,
The fuck
that
is
was.
the Mayflower?
I mean, it could be, footage of a recreation of the Mayflower. We don't know, but yeah, no, there was a period where Japan was completely closed off to everyone and everything except Dutch traders at 2 ports, Nagasaki being one of them, I believe.
Nobody could go out. Nobody could come in. Except
Yes.
the Dutch.
Yes. Nobody ever
They
goes
could only
in.
go there.
Yes. And
Can you imagine actually liking the Dutch traders, but living in somewhere like, I don't know, wherever the hell Tokyo was? What was it called? Edo?
yes, at the time it was still Edo.
Jesus, got to track all the way to fucking wherever it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also you're putting your life in your hands because this was still a time when most of Japan was not united, still fighting civil wars amongst each other with the various tribes, and yeah, it's long, complicated, bloody history, and the idea of a united Japan is actually a fairly recent concept. Actually, the idea of everything from a united Japan, a united Korea, a united Vietnam, united China even. This is all stuff that has happened in just the past, I don't know, 100, 150 years. So,
Yeah, the
fairly
scary part
young.
is
Yeah.
I don't know much about Asian history, but I do know a lot of things about civil wars. They often come before Infinity Wars, and that's very scary.
Yes.
Commodore Perry
Where'd
and his
that
black
go,
ships in 1853. The shogunate abandoned its closed-door policy and Japan began the process of westernization.
Yes, they began westernization because they realized how horribly outgunned and outmatched they were by Perry's forces. That they all just sort of realized, oh shit, these people might invade and conquer us if we don't open our borders first and learn to be more like them. So let's do that.
I don't know why the only thing coming to mind is, you ever watch Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
The food
Which
You know
one
that
we're talking
one
about?
scene. You know that one scene where Indy all of a sudden just pulls out a gun, and then ends the fight real damn quick.
Yes.
Yeah, only thing coming to mind when you mention that.
That's, yeah, a rough microcosm of what was happening. But yeah, thanks to this man who, as the Bill Wirtz video so famously put it, he just showed up with boats, with guns, gunboats, and said,
Boats.
open the country. Stop having it be closed.
Admiral Perry offered the shogun's officials
Washington.
were unlike anything Japanese people had ever seen before.
Is he one of the American Hokakes?
There was wine in large quantities.
He was an American, I know that
is
much.
that a-
Steaks and mutton. This strange
said it was
Western
a
food
Commodore?
was as shocking to the
Yes. Commodore, I believe, is one rank below an admiral. So
Oh shit, that must mean he's really strong.
I don't know about that, but
I mean,
hang on, wait, let me
usually, usually
Shit,
a,
he's part of the- oh no, he's part
a
of the World
commodore
Government,
and a fleet captain tend to go fairly hand in hand. They're sort of the same, but not quite. Commodore's like just a bit of a step higher in rank, but does tend to have their own like flagship and can command several vessels. And then an admiral is usually the admiral of the whole damn fleet.
shogunate as the overwhelming military strength. The period after the Meiji Restoration of 1868 saw an influx of Western culture, along with its slogan of a rich country and a strong military. The government saw the need to improve people's physique. In a total reversal of the long-standing custom, it began to actively encourage people to eat meat. The prohibition that had stood for 1,200 years was suddenly lifted. French cuisine was served at formal diplomatic functions. It's recorded that full-course dinners were served with 20 kinds of dishes, including lavish amounts of beef and duck. This was an official endorsement of Western food by the Japanese government. But for ordinary Japanese, this new way of eating went against deeply ingrained custom. No matter what the government said, people had lived on rice, fish, and vegetables for so long that the idea of eating meat was hard to accept.
Stubborn lot, aren't they?
Books from that time record the dishes
they were the one that
prepared
said
at
it in the first
restaurants in the
place.
ports that were open to the foreigners. One dish was a hot pot made with beef called gyunabe. This was very popular in port cities like Yokohama. This restaurant has been preparing gyunabe in exactly the same way since it first opened over 100 years ago. The chefs cut the beef into 3-centimeter cubes. For Japanese people in those days, meat was still a very exotic food. This hot pot is seasoned with a miso-based sauce to give it a savory taste.
Big old thing of Nutella.
This was the real
I
key
thought
to
that
the
was
dish's success.
Nutella for a
Miso has been
second.
a key part of Japanese cuisine for centuries.
Boy,
Because
would
its
you
main
be in for a
ingredient is
shock if
soya
you grabbed a
bean,
spoonful of
miso
that.
is a valuable source of protein. By blending this well-loved ingredient, miso,
To be fair, the
with
only
the
way I've been
familiar
eating
taste and
Nutella
texture of
nowadays
beef,
is with like
even
some
the most
lotus
nervous
biscoff and then
customers were
scoop
won
that shit
over
in.
and became reconciled with
So
the
fucking
idea
hell,
of
that'd be
eating
the
meat.
fright of my life.
A comment in a book called Aguranabe says, "If you don't eat gyunabe, you are not a modern person." It's clear that people gradually started.
Well, I guess I'm not a
beef as way
modern
to stay
person.
in tune
Damn.
with the
You
changing
fucking primitive! What are you, a
Another example of
boomer?
Western food being modified in Japan is the cutlet.
Ancient Japanese saying, don't be a boomer. Eat meat.
This recipe was first introduced to Japan in the form of French côtelette, slices of veal coated
Don't
with
be a
breadcrumbs
boomer,
and
you must
pan-fried
be
in butter.
monoculture.
Don't be a fucking boomer. Here's
One
this
local
Daisy the
restaurant
cow.
found that customers were unfamiliar
Now
with
eat
butter
her leg.
and complained
We
that
put it in a
tasted too
stew.
greasy.
You love it, you.
The chef, a man called Kida Motojiro, tried to find a way of making this dish more appetizing. He found
Hang on a
inspiration in a
minute, does that-
recipe for tempura,
You're not.
which had
If
first
you
been
don't eat
introduced to
meat, you're not
Japan in the
modern. Does that
16th
count as
century.
gaslighting or no?
After 300 years, it had
Probably.
become a popular part of everyday
Jesus.
Japanese cuisine.
It might. I don't know.
Even back then, the gaslighting was strong.
Tempura is deep
Imagine
fried
getting
in
gaslit
oil,
into
not
eating a
cooked with
bacon
butter.
sandwich.
I mean, again, I don't think that should be a hard sell. It's a bacon sandwich. I mean, what's not to love?
So Kida made
I
a
don't know, the
change to the
Japanese don't know
original
what that is, I
cordlette
guess.
recipe. He deep-fried the slices of pork in oil just like tempura, creating a dish that was more acceptable to his customers.
In this situation, probably.
He called his creation pork katsuretsu.
Or in this time.
It became hugely popular. Eventually the name changed to tonkatsu, and today it remains one of the most common Yorshoku
Excuse me,
dishes.
to what?
Tonkatsu.
Oh, I heard something else.
The same technique was used to create ebi
Tonks.
fry and kaki fry, deep-fried prawns and oysters. By adapting the Western foods introduced to Japan, dishes that suited Japanese palates were created.
But to give you an idea how alien the idea of eating beef was to the average Japanese in those days, there's a story about a man
Oh, it
who
was
was
beef, it wasn't
intending
just
to
meat
open
itself.
a Yunabe restaurant in the early Meiji era. And when his wife heard about it, she was so horrified that she divorced him. Nevertheless, when Japanese people started to season...
You ate meat? I'm divorcing you.
I'm divorcing you for my new lover, vegetarian Victor.
You ate pork from a pig? I'm finally get divorced right now.
No, darling, no.
That's
I didn't
it.
eat pork from a pig.
Banned,
It was from a cow.
cancelled, unsubscribed, blocked on Twitter.
Reported. Child abuse. No, that's not right.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
and beef with meat.
I need to block this content reported. Why? You are not a vegetarian.
In fact, most Yorshoku dishes did
Hell
gain
no,
popularity
boom.
by adaptation to
Violate human rights.
Interestingly, together with
Then
the
you were
introduction
under
of
that
Western
spread
food,
eating
the way of
beef.
eating also underwent a gradual transformation. Until the middle of the 19th century, most Japanese people had eaten their food at separate small tables, individual tables. But through the influence of Western ideas, the idea of everybody sitting around one central dining table to eat also started to take root. And you can see in front of me here a small low table which is called a chabudai. The thing is, in Japanese,
you might get divorced.
people live pretty much, they did everything on tatami mats. So rather than sitting on chairs, they would kneel. And this table was developed to be big enough for the whole family to sit around, but low enough for it to be just the ideal height for kneeling to eat. Japanese people are always willing to make
that's my kind of
cultural
table.
imports. They don't resist them. They don't take them in wholesale either. They adapt them to suit the Japanese culture. As with the table we saw...
I kneel for no meal or for no man.
What I never understood about Japanese history.
What's that?
So how far does Japanese history go exactly?
Recorded history
would you-
goes back, I don't know, probably to like,
Shit, even fucking Rexworth's confused. Oh, fuck.
I don't know. I think some of the earliest records that have survived are from like the 1300s, the 1200s, maybe. Maybe
Right,
something
so-
going further than that.
So, written records, 800 plus years.
Yeah, 800 to about
And-
1,000 years. Yeah.
What I always wondered is how the hell did they go all of that time on chopsticks?
That's what I'm wondering.
I don't
Like,
know.
I understand, like, if I understand that it's a part of the culture, but damn, not once do they think of making an improvement. Surviving this entire time without a fork. Maybe I'm just stuck in my ways.
I mean, I think the first introduction to forks may have come with the Meiji Restoration, like, or maybe the Petty expeditions. Yeah, that may be like one of the few times that they got exposed, that sort of thing, unless you know, it was something regional with the Dutch traders before that. But yeah, no, that's actually, I think it's an entire episode of Japanology is about the history and the culture around surrounding chopsticks. May have to get to that one.
Let me look it up, actually.
What's that?
So let me look it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a very questionable search history tonight. Why
The food
Japan
also
no
underwent the same
make
process.
pork?
The Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 destroyed
Porks
most
never
of
became mainstream, according to Cora.
It also played an important part in the history of Yorshoku.
Yeah, not wrong. Most restaurants in Japan by
As
default,
Tokyo was gradually
they give you
rebuilt,
chopsticks.
many new Yorshoku restaurants were
way.
constructed.
According to Japan Today, Japanese convenience
People's
stores will
daily
now
lives
ask
became
customers
more
who
westernized.
ask for a fork to use chopsticks instead.
Yeah,
That's
I found out why they use chopsticks.
okay.
What'd you find?
Well, from what I found, it's in early history, Japanese chopsticks. Oh, I got messed it up. Japanese chopsticks provided a bridge between the human and the divine, rather than for taking ordinary meals they used at first for sharing food with the gods. It was believed that a pair of chopsticks was offered to a deity, the chopsticks became inhabited by that deity.
So there's a divine connection with the chopsticks.
The chopsticks
Apparently.
I own are Demon Slayer themed.
Well, hey, there you go. Yours get demonically possessed.
Hard.
You're so based.
All right then.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so there's spiritual
Mine.
connotation with all of that. Interesting.
No, my Nezuko themed chopsticks are inhabited by God. No.
Not just any god, a demon of the underworld.
I can safely say that I've never used chopsticks once in my life. The first time I did, I was a senior in high school.
Actually, wait a minute. No, I have learned of Japanese demons. This is great. I watched High School DX. Wait, no.
No, think like yokais and
No.
other unsavory types.
Yokais, Yuris, Banshee.
Yuri!
Not that
Yuri.
Yuri. No.
Oh.
Yuri.
Wait.
Y-U-R.
Wait, yokai. I love Yokai Watch. The opening's great. No.
No.
No, not that kind of yokai.
Not like the ones you see on TV. These yeah, there's some bad hombres.
What's that demon?
Don't worry, I'm not a complete fucking idiot. I watched the closest thing I actually know to yokai is I know a bunch of the stuff that you see in Spirited Away is based on yokai. And then
That's
there's
true,
also have you ever watched, oh dear, this is gonna be a weird shout, especially for on Twitch. But have you ever watched Ghost Stories?
Yes.
Briefly,
Right.
yeah.
All I'm gonna say right now, yes, the dub is infinitely better and is one of my favorite animes of all time.
I immediately know what you're talking about, and I'm
If you
just like,
haven't,
yes.
if you haven't watched it, watch it. If you don't enjoy it, what I can recommend is try again, you weak fuck.
All right. Ghost Stories, the dub. Watch it.
Yes.
There's your top tip for the night.
And Yorshoku
Stay up
restaurants spread
watching
throughout
like
the
ghost
country.
stories that will.
Yes. Binge it all night long.
In
It's only 8
1929,
hours.
a new department store in Osaka opened
Who
an
needs
enormous
sleep?
food
You'll be fine. You can
Its
always
most
sleep
popular
through work
dishes
tomorrow.
were Yorshoku meals such as curry rice and omelets.
Even so, Yorshoku was still considered a cuisine for special occasions. To be
Or
eaten
you
in
can just watch it at work. If they tell
Few
you to stop, you
families
can tell them to
prepare
go
dishes like this
fuck
at home.
themselves.
The one way ticket to get it. No,
People
no,
only
no.
began to make
Let me
Yorshoku
know,
in their
let me
homes
know.
after the Second World War. It was a time of severe food
Oh no,
shortages, and many
my last
children
employer was
suffered
pretty
from
chill with that kind of
malnutrition.
thing.
The occupation force's policy of promoting Western foods focused the
Yeah,
spotlight
mine
on the
is
high
too, as long as you
protein,
keep it on the
high
down low.
calorie benefits of Yorshoku cuisine.
I'm not even
for
joking, yeah,
better
there was
health
one point
and
where
strength.
at the last job I worked, the manager was playing, oh, what was it called? He was playing
The
some sort of
1950s
tycoon
was a
game
time of
on his
unprecedented
phone for about an hour and a
economic growth
half.
in Japan. Households acquired fridges,
There was
washing
so
machines,
few
and
people coming
TVs,
into the store.
and the quality of people's lives improved rapidly.
I can believe that.
TV programs introduced many Yorshoku preparations, dishes that had previously been kept for special
Just wanna
occasions.
Oh my god,
recommend
it's Cookie
in
Mama!
restaurants.
I'm just kidding.
They spread the idea that Yorshoku could be cooked and eaten at home. One person who helped to spread Yorshoku was Ida Miyuki, the wife of a diplomat. We didn't have the ingredients. Ripe tomatoes are so important, but they didn't exist in Japan then. Nor did tomato puree. But we did have tomato ketchup. There was nothing else for it. It was
that's
embarrassing.
why
but
they use
we would
ketchup.
dilute it and then use it.
No.
I mean, it still doesn't make it any better, but I can understand why.
Many people didn't have the right cooking equipment. So they were advised to tenderize meat using beer bottles, or whatever came to hand.
That's so smart, though.
Ideas like
That
this
is
led to new
that is some of the
recipes
most
being
ghetto shit I've ever seen.
Oh god.
The dish known as hayashi rice.
Only way you could
ought
go
to be
worse
made
if
with
you got out a
demi-glace
fucking
sauce.
baseball bat.
Instead, a mixture of ketchup and soy sauce.
Oh god,
was
no.
done. Traditional Japanese pickles such as rakkyo and takwa.
Well, I'm gonna
were
say,
used
don't
in
trust
place
me
of
with the
Western
baseball bat, because I'm a menace with it.
I would make too many
Seafood
jokes.
pilaf came to be served in wooden
I say that like
okitsu
I'm not any
tubs,
better without
which
one.
were traditionally used for serving freshly cooked white rice. Japan's top chefs also worked hard to popularize Yorshoku.
Trust us, it's
Murakami
good.
Nobuo,
Believe
the
us, we're
executive
wearing
chef
the
of the
red
Imperial
sash.
Hotel, often made TV
Trust
appearances
us, we are
explaining how
all
to
of the best
prepare
chefs
Yorshoku.
in Japan. You see Japan? Yeah, we're better than you at cooking.
After the
That
end
is
of the
me.
war, Murakami was sent to
Hello.
the Ritz Hotel in Paris to study authentic French
Oh
cuisine.
my god.
Jesus Christ, all the best chefs in Japan were out of town. Oh god.
When Britain's Queen Elizabeth visited Japan, it was he who had the responsibility of
Oh, wait, what the
preparing
heck,
food
bro?
for her visit. She was so
Don't
impressed
do
by
that.
one dish
Don't
he
do
made,
that.
she agreed to have it named after her. As the top French chef in
He
Japan,
served that to the
Murakami
Queen
frequently
after he
appeared on
stuck his
television
finger in
explaining
it.
how easy it was to cook Yorshoku
It's
at
on me
home.
to clean that.
Execute him.
Execute orders.
It's so easy.
Off with his head.
Just work the meat as though you were handling a
Cut
baseball.
off.
Offer
Then
him to the
put an
corgis. The
indentation in the
corgis
center.
shoved aside his
If you
face.
don't do that, the Hamburg steak will swell up during cooking like a rice cake. So remember to add the indentation. If a Hamburg steak sauce called for brandy, Murakami suggested using local whiskey or wine or whatever was available.
You just leave him for an hour, you see a poor skull in the corgis.
I promise you, if you simply follow what I'm doing, you will create a
no.
wonderful
No, on the
meal.
skull and all
I
this other-
guarantee it, so please give it a try.
Yeah, like that.
Yorshoku isn't something
Actually, you know what?
special.
No, I imagine that
Anybody
they
can
would
make it.
be a bit more
You just
harsh.
have to learn the basic
You just hear a
techniques. Many housewives were encouraged by Murakami's words, and Yorshoku gradually spread into people's kitchens.
Sort of turn, crane your head.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
Lucius Merriweather, is that you?
No, that's not me.
As time passed, more Japanese had a chance to travel abroad, and cuisines from around the world began to be introduced into Japan.
Uh-oh.
The
Oh, that's
Italian food
terrifying.
was really Italian.
That pizza
The
had
French
corn
cooking
kernels on it.
was just like you get in France.
Yeah, but here's the
These
problem
cuisines
though.
were
You've forgotten
imported
about
without
one
any
thing, Rex.
adaptation.
What?
Because of that, they're starting to have more
Compared
and
with
more
these
meat in their
authentic
diet.
cuisines,
So as a
Yorshoku is
result,
now
divorce
firmly
rate was definitely on the
entrenched in Japan.
rise.
not as a
Oh, God.
Western food, but
Oh,
as a
that's
unique
right.
part of Japanese food culture.
Anata, you ate meat? None of the
Since
fuck.
the 1980s,
I divorce
eating
you.
out in Japan has been through some big changes. When I first came here in the
I'm calling
70s,
my lawyers for
finding
a
a really good
divorce.
Indian restaurant was not easy. These days, you'll find them all over Tokyo. Not only that, but
Sounds like
you'll
me and my
find food
ex-wife.
from
What?
just about any country in the world, especially if you're in Tokyo, and the quality of it will be
All over
great.
Tokyo. There you are.
And against that backdrop, Yoshoku isn't even really thought of as foreign food anymore. It's just one element
Yeah,
of
it is.
Japanese cuisine. For the baby boom generation, their own personal changes in their eating habits were brought on by the rapid westernization that Japan went through in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And to them, the idea of Yoshoku would have been almost like a status symbol, something that reflected their own increased wealth. That has changed an awful lot now, and for the current young generation, curry and rice is just as Japanese as sushi is. Well, that's about it for this week. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bro, you say that as if I had sushi before. I have not.
You've never had sushi?
Really?
In our next edition of Begin Japanology, we explore the world of
Archery!
Japanese archery, Kyudo, a martial art that requires Zen-like concentration.
That is a massive fucking bow.
That's my kind of sport.
Yeah, it's
What? Wait, hang on. How big was that bow? Hang on. What? That was like the size of some of the girls. That has got to be like a...
thereabouts.
Size of her body.
What? Surely that's just part of a dick measuring contest at that point.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, what's better? Like a big ass bow? Or a tiny ass bow which you can't aim?
I don't know. Typically, smaller crossbows are a bit more practical than larger ones. I assume the same is in place with bows.
I think you might be right.
I'm not completely stupid! Oh my god!
That's, it's, I think, more tradition than anything.
Ah.
Oh, well, I was wanting to raid Lorelei Chow, but already wrapped up a stream. So... I've got somebody new that we're going to raid. Let's go with, oh, she's streaming at long last. It's good to see her back. Let's go raid Rogue Red. Currently playing Turlock Holmes. Looks like a Mad Libs
What
game or
happened to Sherlock
something.
Holmes?
Something like that. Anyways, let's go raid Rogue Red. And we'll get the copy pasta ready here. Right, everybody will be back tomorrow on the Sway Gaming channel, playing more Yakuza 0. We may possibly go down the rabbit hole with Pocket Circuit Fighter and do that whole thing. Maybe. I don't know. I think I'm still in the Majima arc, so I may have to switch back to Kiryu for that. We'll figure it out. Anyways, thank you all for joining me for this impromptu stream. And Britt, Crasher, and Angel Rose, thank you all for hanging out with me in VC for this. Thanks to Luna Wolf, and also to Droid for popping in as well, and also for Genevivioso also popping in, even if just to say goodnight. It's always appreciated. But yeah, we'll see everybody tomorrow on the Sway Gaming channel. And then Friday, Saturday, busy weekend. Got a collab coming up, and also got a recording of the Lord Rexworth podcast with Blood Raven Plays, and then of course spending time with Jen. See everybody tomorrow night. I'm Lord Rexworth, wishing you all the best, and God bless.